personnel and equipment to combat what has become the worst wildfires in the nation's history, with the potential for wildfires like we've never experienced before, spreading in just a few hours. The remainder of this week must be devoted entirely to suppression efforts.
Prince Harry has quit a charity he set up 2 decades ago to honour his late mother, Princess Diana. Nine's Europe correspondent Jessica Millwood.
Prince Harry has resigned from the charity he co-founded in memory of his late mother, Princess Diana. Centre Ballet was set up in 2006 to help children and young people in Africa. But the Duke of Sussex and Prince Siso of Lesotho have now both quit in solidarity with the Board of Trustees, who have also stood down, unhappy with the direction the chairwoman is taking the charity in. Harry says he's heartbroken and in shock at what has transpired, describing it as unthinkable.
Turning to 5AA Sport.
Gliderol Garage Doors, adding strength, style and safety to your home. Gliderol.com.au.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Maddie. Port Adelaide has made 3 changes for tonight's clash against Essendon at Marvel Stadium, with Tom Cochrane set to become the Power's 3rd player in 3 weeks to make his debut. He'll also be the first player to play in the AFL with Tourette's. Cochrane is joined in the side by Sava Ratugolea and also Ivan Soldo to take on the Bombers, who are under pressure to perform after 2 first-up losses. Still on footy, Melbourne coach Simon Goodwin admits he should have put a sock in it when raising Max Gawn's personal issues during a post-match media conference. The Demon skipper had a rare off game during Sunday's loss to the Kangaroos, and Goodwin suggested off-field matters might have been to blame. Goodwin has told Fox Footy he went into protective mode when Gawn was in the firing line and immediately regretted the comments.
As soon as I walked out, I knew that I had to go and speak to him pretty quickly, and he was fine. He knew the place that it was coming from, and to be clear, there's nothing wrong with Max. He's fine. And it certainly wasn't to diminish the game that Tristan Cherry played. Like, he was unbelievable.
Meantime, Harley Reid has been ordered to pay a $1,000 fine for raising his middle finger to the Gabba crowd on Sunday. To cricket, South Australia is in a strong position after the opening day of the Sheffield Shield final against Queensland at Karen Rolton Oval. SA won the toss and bowled first, and the decision was justified as they dismissed the visitors for only 95. Brendan Doggett with 6 wickets. The home side then reached 6 for 158 in reply at stumps, with Jake Lehman and Ben Menenti still at the crease. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now 5AA's forecast.
Switch and save on service and repairs. Call 1300 Automasters.
Staying sunny and 32 today, 33 tomorrow, 29 Saturday, partly cloudy on Sunday, 25. Right now, 19. 5AA, always Adelaide.
No one loves a clean truck more than Ray Pepper. Ray even launched his own truck washers and developed his own truck strength cleaning products. Now you can try the range of Pepper's truck strength cleaning products for your car, caravan, boat or home. And they're made right here in Adelaide. Make it shine, because everything goes better with a bit of Pepper. Shop online and check out the Pepper's Starter Pack with a bit of everything for just $69.90. Go to peppersaustralia.com.au.
A life-changing call. A life-changing prize. Are you about to win a brand new home? This is your last chance to buy tickets in the Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery. The absolute final deadline is midnight tomorrow. Don't miss your chance to live the dream in Somerton Park with no mortgage and no worries. Life-changing prizes. Life-changing impact. HomeLottery.com.au. Licence M14673.
5AA's Tech Talk with your host, Adelaide Tech Guy Richard Pascoe. Thanks to Harvey Norman Computers.
Harvey Norman is bringing the heat with massive savings on HP and Asus laptops. For a limited time, you can save up to 20%. Yes, 20%. Need a lightweight, reliable laptop for work or study? The HP 14S with 8 gig of RAM is now just $598, saving you $130. For power users, the Asus VivoBook 15 with a huge 1 terabyte of storage is now $888. That's over $300 off. Or step up to serious performance with the HP Intel Core Ultra 5 laptop boasting 16 gig of RAM, a steal at $1,098, saving you $600. Harvey Norman delivers the best brands, the best range and the best prices guaranteed. Don't miss out on these tech bargains. Shop now. Terms and conditions apply.
Check out this great offer at a Harvey Norman store near you.
We know you are concerned about SA's public hospital capacity. and how long it can take to see a doctor. So are we. We need enough doctors to provide the safe, quality care you deserve. There are solutions for South Australia, and it's not rocket science. Visit safermedicalstaffing.com.au and sign the petition to support our 3-point plan for enough doctors for South Australia. Authorised by Dr David Pope, South Australian Salaried Medical Officers Association, Adelaide.
The news and issues that matter to South Australia. Always Adelaide. This is 5AA.
The Hyundai Keys to Summer event ends soon. Unlock offers now. Visit Hyundai.com.au.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
Eight minutes after 6, good morning to you and welcome to Thursday on 5AA Breakfast. It is the 27th of March and it's going to be a big morning because the Prime Minister is joining us after 7:30 today. Anthony Albanese will be on the program. On the morning of what is going to be Peter Dutton's budget reply night, he's selling his own budget and the vision for Australia detailed just a couple of days ago. So looking forward to having the Prime Minister on after 7:30. That means Matt Abraham moves to after 8. We love doing Abraham at 8. So
Abraham
we'll
at
get his real-time analysis on the Prime Minister's spin and everything else that's been going on around the world of federal and state politics with Matt. And then we've got sound off for the Kerala at Smart Dialer. Fitzy's going to be on. Footy starts. We've got to get back in the rhythm of this Thursday night football thing. Fitzy's going to be on with his tips to get you across the weekend that way. And we're off to the United States before 7 o'clock for one of the most remarkable, in fact, the biggest win of amount of money in reality TV history, won by an Australian Survivor contestant competing on Deal or No Deal Island. An astronomical sum of money won. We'll talk to Rob Scott about that from Channel 7. David Penberthy, good morning to you.
Good morning, listeners. Good morning, Will. You know it's election time when the heavy hitters crawl out of the woodwork. Albo contacted us yesterday and said, I'd love to come on the show. And, of course, you know, you're not going to say no to the Prime Minister, and I'm sure we'll have Peter Dutton on soon enough. I'd imagine we'd have him on over the coming week, given that he is giving his formal reply to Tuesday's budget later today. It's starting to feel more like a game show than an election campaign. And he's like, hi, I'm Anthony Albanese. You vote for me, you'll get $5 a week. But don't worry, you got to wait for 12 months. After that, you're going to get even more money. It's crazy. And then tonight, Duts, if you vote for me, I'm going to give you free petrol for 1 year. That's right, $750 in your skyrocket. How good's that sound? It's going to expire straight away afterwards. Begging the question, what's the bloody point? But it's free money. Seriously, what is wrong with this damn country?
It is the most underwhelming election campaign. That's what we're in. Let's call it what it is, that I can remember. It is like, take your pick. This is the big picture vision for Australia. $5 a week or a fuel card. Well, that's where we're at.
Yeah, it's exactly where we're at.
Like, so,
Will and I were just chatting in the lift, and I get misty-eyed about Hawkey and Howard. You know, we just have elections about what is the logic of the government owning Telstra? Do you want to create a new class of mum and dad investors by privatising Telstra? That was a Howard thing. Keating, why do we own a bank? Why aren't foreign banks allowed to enter the country? Let's float the dollar.
Yeah.
Let's stop propping up industries that are doomed with the dead hand of tariffs. You know,
let's fundamentally reimagine the tax system by introducing a goods and services tax.
Yeah. Let's start a thing called the Intergenerational Report, which was a Howard Costello thing, recognising the looming train wreck caused by the longevity of life and an ageing population without adequate population growth to sustain it. What can we do to tickle that along? Well, we could have a baby bonus. That might help. More importantly, we need to broaden the tax base. Let's do something as radical and as hard politically as bringing a GST, because otherwise we're not going to have the revenue to sustain services into the long term. Like, their ideas...
Or going back, Medicare, superannuation.
Yeah, superannuation. Like, that was an idea. Superannuation. So that really took off, that one.
I thought about this in a couple of different ways before when I was driving in this morning, because I think there's two realities. Either the major political parties in this country are totally starved of inspiration, or they don't have the cojones to do anything bold and big, or they think the average person at the moment is too stupid to digest anything other than a cash handout on something like cost of living. Because there are options. We're talking about, look, let's talk about energy. We mentioned it the other day, somewhere between $6 and $9 billion has been spent on giving you $75 at a time off your energy bills. Well, maybe the assessment is that's more sellable than investing in or incentivising the investment in multiple gas power plants. Maybe it's not as that. Maybe that's not as sexy, but it's structurally going to make a bigger difference. Maybe fuel cards and giving you $750 a year, cool headline, only temporary relief. But maybe that works politically better than tax relief. That would actually make me sad. I hope they're just starved of inspiration.
I think what they want to do is, and sort of, to your point, they actually think the election can be won and lost by people who don't really pay any attention to politics.
Seems to be that way.
And, people who don't listen to shows like ours where, you actually cover policies properly, talk to politicians a lot. It's politics aimed at people who want to listen to a radio station where you get another 3 songs back-to-back by Chisel and a few fart jokes thrown in for good measure. They just want people who just get the passing parade of politics and just pick up a bit of, $750 sounds all right. That sounds all right, doesn't it? Eh?
Yeah,
this is what that Dutch guy's saying.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe it works, but it when you consider like the huge challenges facing Australia are the unreliability and cost of power and the need to have a more productive workforce.
Completely.
And greater flexibility, And again, like you think back to the IR legacy of Hawke. I mean, the first thing he did was he called in the union and said, okay, everyone's got to tighten their belts. And instead of having this award-based model where it's just constant pay rises or constant pay demands, the sort of thing that helped end the Whitlam government prematurely, he said, we're going to have an accord between business and the unions, and we're going to really push enterprise bargaining to make sure that you don't get a pay rise unless you can show that there's been a productivity increase. There's a Labor government that did that. Now we've seen Tony Burke with all this equal work, equal pay crap, the sort of very softly approach that they took for years to the CFMEU.
I'd add the housing crisis to your list of things that need urgent addressing in Australia at the moment. And there seems to be this Beetlejuice effect in Australian politics at the moment. Remember Beetlejuice, the Michael Keaton character? If you say his name 3 times, he appears. There seems to be this view at every tier of government in Australia that if you say housing enough, houses start getting built. And I'm not convinced that's happened.
Hey, presto.
The budget, according to the federal budget, and the budget has been, in the last 3 years, they've missed this target every single year. They've missed a target. They've underestimated this number, and it's the number of people coming to Australia. So this federal budget says through till 2029 this year, 1.8 million people are coming to Australia. We're adding another South Australia. Now, if anything invites big picture thinking about solving... I was going to do this later, but I'll mention it now. The ABS says there's about 2.5 people to a home at the moment in Australia. So we're saying right now, if we hit the targets that we haven't hit any of the last 3 years, by the way, we've always gone over, we'll need another 725,000 homes just for the people that are coming over the next 4 years. Do you reckon we're going to get to 725 just for them?
No.
Let alone the people right now that can't get into housing, be it rental or to live in? Like, why? What? We're talking about fuel and $5 a week.
It's pathetic. Hey, more importantly, I'm pretty sad about the Mintaro Maze closing.
Oh, what's going on with that?
I don't know. How many of our listeners have been to the Mintaro Maze?
I reckon everyone in South Australia's been to the Mintaro Maze.
Although, you know what surprised me? It's funny how so fast things can become in our imagination something from yesteryear. It's not even 30 years old. I thought it had been around since the dawn of time.
What, you're kidding?
No, it's only, let me double check.
25, Lucy says.
25, yeah. It's only,
it's Lucy's neck of the woods.
We went there a few years ago, or about 10 years ago when we had that wedding.
It's only 25 years
44 degrees. That was the only time we've ever seen one of our dogs deliberately get wet.
Why was that?
Because it was incredibly hot. I think it was like 43, 44 in Clare that day. and there's this giant pond and water feature in the middle of the maze, and our dog Zorro, we had the dogs with us, and we were, away for a couple of nights, but we stayed in an Airbnb where you could have pets, and Zorro was so hot, the poor thing, that he just got up and climbed into this fountain and just sat in it. And we was going, Zorro, what are you doing?
Well played, Zorro.
I know. He was just sitting there going, oh, this is good. Right in the middle of the Mintaro maze.
That's extraordinary. 17 minutes after 6. Some really good, thoughtful texts coming through on the Police Home Care text line. I'm going to get to some of those. And the weather, then we'll get to talk Shield and footy with Tom Wren. That's ahead.
We're interrupting your show. Sorry. Because Binge Basic is now just $4.99 a month for 12 months. That's a bingillion hours of entertainment for less than $5 a month. Offer ends March 31st, so head to binge.com.au/4. New and returning customers only.
Adelaide's local, trusted and truly connected talkback radio station. 5AA. Always Adelaide.
If you can't stop using your mobile phone illegally, drink or drug driving, driving without a seatbelt, speeding or driving dangerously, South Australia Police will stop you. With more patrols, more road safety cameras and more driver testing, stop breaking the rules before we stop you. Think road safety. A message from the Government of South Australia.
Get the garden you want at Garden Grove. Autumn's here, so it's important to think about getting your garden and lawns ready for a long winter with fertilising to keep them strong and healthy. Garden Grove have the best brands, backed by the very best advice. Get the garden you want. Garden Grove. Golden Grove Road, Golden Grove.
Garden Grove, that's the garden. Garden Grove, that's the garden. Garden Grove, the garden that I want.
Phone 8251 1111 for delivery to your area.
Above the secure parking and private residence lobby, your spectacular sky home awaits. It welcomes you with unparalleled innovation and the comfort of knowing that you are beyond safe. You are blissfully carefree. Flawless design, sunlit spaciousness and immersive views envelop your sky-high haven. Parkline by Chase Crown is living above and beyond. An opportunity not to be missed. parklinekentown.com.
Hi, Sarah Wren here, Market Lead at FIVEAA. 2025 will mark my first year participating in the annual Vinnie's CEO Sleep Out. On June 19, SA business and community leaders will gather at Adelaide Zoo for one night to raise funds and awareness for people who sleep rough every night. If you're a business or community leader, help break the cycle of homelessness by signing up at ceosleepout.org.au.
Consciousness. The awareness of one's existence has divided philosophers for centuries. Is it an illusion? Do we exist beyond our own mind? Or are we just watching Aldi's 43-inch Full HD Smart TV? Just $249. With streaming at your fingertips. It's special you can buy at Aldi's Big Entertainer Sale this Saturday. Aldi. Good different.
With so many holiday homes on Booking.com, there are so many Tina Feys I could be. Surfing Tina at a beach villa. Is that a shark? Or channel surfing Tina in an apartment. Ooh, a shark show. Book whoever you want to be. Booking.com, Booking.yeah.
The new Subway Signature Deli Supreme, bursting with layers of thinly sliced ham, turkey, bold pepperoni, and rich salami topped with creamy mayo. Deli-icious. Or is it deli-licious?
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube. The Hyundai Keys to Summer event ends soon. Unlock offers now. Visit Hyundai.com.au.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
21 after 6, a couple of quick news headlines. This is a good one. In part, the cost of groceries has fallen at two major supermarkets. There's one, though, that's still on the rise. Choice collected a basket of 14 common items from Coles, Woolworths and Aldi. The Consumer Group's editorial director, Mark Serrells, says prices decreased at Coles and Aldi.
Coles has gone down a couple of dollars over the course of the year, and Woolies has kind of gone up a couple of dollars. I mean, it depends on specials.
What a magnificent accent.
I was going to say, was it Dr. Derek's cousin works at Choice Magazine?
That was superb.
I listened to Dr. Derek the other afternoon with Stacey, and You can listen to that guy reading out the white pages.
Ah, isn't it lovely?
Yeah,
it's the best.
Best accent.
Australians are being urged to get their flu shot next month with a horror season on the way. AMA President Dr. Danielle McMullen says there are a lot of mistruths about the vaccine, which is effective.
The flu vaccine can't cause the flu. The common side effect to feel a little bit under the weather for a day or two after your vaccine, but you definitely can't catch the flu from it. And your best protection from influenza is to get your flu vaccine.
I know doing infection numbers is so 2020, but so far in 2025...
flatten the curve? Is that what we used to say? Flatten
the curve? Well, we need to flatten this curve. 2,300 cases of the flu so far this year, 1,600 this time last year. So, wow, 50% ahead, essentially. At least 24 people have been killed as multiple wildfires continue to ravage South Korea's southeast. Authorities say most of the victims are aged in their 60s and 70s. 26 people injured, 12 in a critical condition. More than 23,000 people have been forced to flee their homes. And there's a treat for plane spotters today. This is going to be cool. Up to 4 F-35A...
Did you say plane?
Plane spotters.
Plane spotters.
Yeah. F-35A Lightning II jets. These are the ones that we're spending half of our GDP on, I think, to buy from the United States in conjunction with Europe, back when we all used to get along.
Are these like war for war?
Yeah, the F-35s. These are your...
That's what it says on the box.
Yeah.
It's called star on the corner.
Well, you know...
Only to be used for war. Not passenger travel.
You might know, the people might know this, but you know the little letter that at the front of when you're talking about the types of Air Force plane, like F-35, F-18 Hornet,
What's that mean?
B-52... What usually designates what kind of mission that plane is designed for, like F, fighter.
Okay.
B, bomber, B-52.
Yeah, right, okay. Oh, that's handy.
Yeah. The E is for electronic warfare, and so on and so forth. Anyway.
How convenient.
The squadron will be practicing different training scenarios for junior aircrew, but they're going to be, that is as advanced technology as there is in our skies. Those jets are unbelievable. Let's have a look at the weather. 32, the expected top today. 18.8 as we speak outside, 33 tomorrow, the weekend a little cooler, 29 on Saturday, 25 Sunday, and then the start of next week, Monday 26, Tuesday 26, Wednesday 25. Again, we note the total absence of any rain, but you should still cover up like you do with your barbecue to protect yourself from the sun. Be sun smart and cover up.
A text to chill the blood. I'm having flashbacks even reading it. Our great mate Rob, he says, remember guys, we're all in this together.
Oh.
It was one of the really genuinely bad features of the pandemic, you know, setting aside all the deaths, was so much Ben Lee played on the radio.
There was a lot of Ben Lee, wasn't there?
And any Ben Lee's never good.
Cigarettes Will Kill You?
Oh,
not a fan?
I kind of don't mind that song.
Yeah, actually, that's a pretty good song.
But
it's the only one I know. No, but what you're talking about now, that we're all in this together. Yeah,
that song.
Yeah, that doesn't do it for me, that one. Tom Wren is in the FIVEAA Breakfast Studio, so to some extent we are very much in the same room together at the moment. Gliderol Garage Doors, adding strength, style and safety to your home. Gliderol.com.au. Morning to you, Rennie.
Morning, boys. We'll start with maybe the cricket first. Intriguing opening day of the Shield final, wasn't it?
Crazy.
16 wickets.
It was tense, wasn't it?
Well, when the first...
It was awesome. It was like an Ashes test.
It was all on Fox. I watched pretty much every ball.
Yeah, it was great. And I think half an hour in, I think everyone's thinking, oh, my God, here we go. 2 drop catches. And look, I love Nathan McSweeney. He's a great fielder, great batter. He's played Test cricket. But when he dropped that lollipop from Khawaja, I thought, this is going to be horrific.
When Marnus Labuschagne played onto his stumps, the ball cannoned into his stumps and the bail didn't come off, I thought, well, here we go. This is redbacks.
I think I might have said, you are the luckiest such and such I've ever seen. And, but then he was out, caught down the leg side, which was great.
But within 2 overs, they'd lost 4 or 5 wickets and the entire complexion of the game changed.
And then Jack Clayton absolutely, I think the commentary called it, barbecued himself. I've never seen, he just totally panicked, just ran.
That was crazy.
2/3 of the way down the pitch and went, clearly no run there. And Liam Scott, that was brilliant. It was half an hour of just the most enthralling cricket. And Brendan Doggett was superb, 6 for 31. And they bowled them out for 95. But to Queensland's credit, they're back in the game and it's off the back of a young teenager, Callum Vidler. He bowled serious wheels at the end of the day. You could see he had the redback or the SA players hopping around the crease. But Jake Lehman has batted really well. Ben Menenti. SA, great day. Still on top. Well and truly on top. But
what's our lead? 60?
63. I'd love another 100 runs.
Oh, for sure.
Because the deck does look like it's starting to flatten out. And
that's
I don't
the worry
think...
too. You've got guys like Khawaja and
they're not going to miss out twice.
Going to go okay, I've done this before.
Mm-hmm. They're not going to miss out twice. Not both of them again, I wouldn't have thought. So I suspect, they'll be making 300-400 at least in their second innings. So, yeah, there's work to be done, but it was a good day still,
It was good.
wasn't
The crowd looked great. The Oval looked terrific. There's a couple of thousand people down there. People had the signs of the legends of yesteryear, the Paul Nobe stand, the Joe Scuderi stand. It was excellent. Hey, you know what? That game moved me closer. I think I'm now officially fully fledged in this camp of watching sport in the modern world, and this game tipped me over the edge. I think I'm officially out on video review of anything in sport. But watching that yesterday, where the first LBW appeal of the day, I went, oh, I can't wait to see what the ball tracker does on this one. And there was nothing.
Yeah.
Not out.
Yeah.
And you know what he did? They went back to the mark and they bowled the next ball and the game moved on. There wasn't a discussion of chin scratching and should we review? Do we use a review? And then there's 10 minutes of now we're just waiting for the ball tracker. The game moved on.
I know someone who worked with that ball tracker thing at Fox Sports years ago. He said to me that the guy who did it was basically like this uni graduate who.
Yeah, he's probably worth millions now.
But it's almost guesswork the way it works. It's nowhere near as reliable as people say it is.
Like, you watch in the Premier League, there's video review, assistant review, but in the Championship, there's not. And you know what happens? A goal gets scored and everyone goes nuts. There's not this, hang on, let's wait 3 minutes. And I felt that watching the cricket yesterday. I thought it actually was. I used to be all for that kind of stuff, but having lived through it for the last 10 years, I think it's all garbage now.
Yeah, I got to say, the lack of hoopla around Shield really appeals to my analogue sensibilities, and part of it's like, you see like, I don't know, Gold Coast v Freo last game on a Sunday, and they're hyping it up, and no one, not even the support of those clubs are interested in it. Like, there's a certain ye olde dignity to Shield that I think
it was great.
We're rediscovering through this.
Well, if you're thinking of going down, it is free admission. It's a great atmosphere, like you said, and if you've got an hour off work at lunch, or you can head on down after work or during the day, make sure you do. The weather's superb, but you're not going to get it better than that.
Great story tonight for Port Adelaide. Another debutant.
Unbelievable. 3rd in 3 weeks, Tommy Cochrane. I think he's the first player that we know of that's been diagnosed with Tourette's that he's playing. His old man played 104 games, I think it was, at Port Adelaide, Stewart, and has battled leukemia. So he's had his, significant health challenges. And what a great story. Fantastic young kid, really popular. Was really open with the group when he came in and said, look, this is what I'm dealing with, and they've embraced him. So I think it's a fabulous story about overcoming, personal challenges, and what an opportunity to play at Marvel Stadium tonight. 3 changes for Port, Asava Radaglia. I like Ivan Soldo in that side. I think he...
So is he in to play forward?
Well, I think he has to.
Yeah.
For Jack Lukosius. I think he knows how to kick a goal. I think it's a good option up forward. Him and Sweet together, living in the same team as Ruckman, probably hasn't worked in the past, but we haven't seen it that often. So, look, huge
I thought he
battle.
was delisted. This is how desperate Port are getting. This bloke's got out in the back shed being called up.
He wanted to go, and it was
He's
done.
on his girlfriend hates South Australia.
Yeah, but then he failed the medical when he tried to get to St Kilda. So, look, born out of necessity, he gets an opportunity. Let's hope he takes it.
Well, knowing St Kilda's like he'll probably be all Australian now this year.
Let's hope so for Port's case. But
totally.
Massive game. Essendon under the torch. It's going to be a big change.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating. Good on you, Randy.
Thanks, boys.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Sunny and 32 today with the 6:30 news. Good morning, I'm Matthew Pantelis.
Physio Extra offers Locomat and Armio robotic technology services at their Marion and Eastwood clinics. PhysioExtra.com.
Cost of living is the key battleground as the federal election draws closer. The opposition leader will use his budget reply to unveil a pledge to halve the fuel excise for a year, bringing down prices by about 25 cents a litre. The federal government's tax cuts outlined in this week's budget have now passed Parliament, and Health Minister Mark Butler telling Today it's the latest example of Peter Dutton voting against attempts to address the cost of living crisis.
Well, he voted against them yesterday, and presumably he's promising to repeal them if he's elected over the coming weeks. A tax cut for every single Australian. He opposed our efforts to do that last year. He's done it again this year.
Police are continuing to investigate a suspicious death at Christie Downs after a woman was found collapsed at a unit block in Rufus Crescent at about 10 a.m. yesterday. She was pronounced dead at the scene. Detectives door-knocked homes in the area yesterday. A 54-year-old man there arrested after allegedly assaulting officers. The push is on to get Australians vaccinated against what experts are predicting will be a horror flu season following the one in the Northern Hemisphere. The AMA's president, Dr. Danielle McMullen, says thousands die every year from respiratory illnesses, and people who are immunocompromised over 65, as well as babies and pregnant women, should get their flu shot before winter sets in.
I know everyone's a bit sick and tired of vaccines after the pandemic, and there's all sorts of rubbish floating around on the internet, but vaccination really is the greatest invention of modern medicine, and we can save thousands of lives a year by getting our flu vaccines and keeping up to date with our other vaccinations.
New technology is expected to drain more data from the national broadband network over coming years. A growing number of households are likely to stream using super high definition, which chews up to 80 times more data than current systems. NBN spokesperson Jane McNamara maintains the network is evolving to keep pace with tech advancements.
These upgrades are so important to make sure we have fast, reliable broadband for everyone's needs, whether you're a home or a business.
The White House press secretary is unleashed on the journalist at the centre of a war chat scandal. Jeffrey Goldberg has now released screenshots of the group chat he was accidentally added to by the US Defence Secretary, in which plans to attack Houthi rebels in Yemen were detailed. Caroline Leavitt has used a press briefing to accuse Democrats of orchestrating a misinformation campaign.
And there's arguably no one in the media who loves manufacturing and pushing hoaxes more than Jeffrey Goldberg. Goldberg is an anti-Trump hater. He is a registered Democrat. Goldberg's wife is also a registered Democrat.
The Melbourne International Comedy Festival's opening night last night ended mid-show due to a death of an audience member. More from Madeline Burke.
The All Stars Gala marks the beginning of the popular comedy festival, but last night it was brought to a halt after a medical emergency. Paramedics were called to the Palais Theatre in St Kilda around 9 o'clock, trying to resuscitate an audience member who was unresponsive. But the man couldn't be saved and he died at the scene. The show was stopped and cancelled. Festival organisers say they will be in touch with all ticket holders today. Police say the death is not being treated as suspicious.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Colours, custom design, any house, any style. Gliderol Garage Doors. Gliderol.com.au.
AFL round gets underway tonight. Tom Wren.
Yeah, and it's a big game, isn't it, from a local perspective, Matty? Port Adelaide looking to make it consecutive wins when they take on Essendon this evening at Marvel Stadium. The Power have made 3 changes, with Tom Cochrane making his debut, while Asava Radaglia and Ivan Soldo also come into the side. The rest of the teams for round 3 will be released tonight. The Crows to bring out a squad to face North Melbourne on Sunday. The Kangaroos have a horrible record at Adelaide Oval, having failed to win here in 11 previous attempts. But Ruckman Riley O'Brien says they're not reading too much into that.
We definitely have the last few years, but they played some pretty good footy last week, so we won't be taking them lightly, that's for sure.
South Australia will be hoping to capitalise on its strong start to the Shield final at Karen Rolton Oval. SA will begin day 2 against Queensland at 6 for 158, giving the home side a lead of 63 runs. It comes after paceman Brendan Doggett starred with the ball, taking 6 for 31 to help dismiss the visitors for only 95. Doggett says it was an awesome day.
Yeah, it was a nervous start from everyone, I think. Obviously, we dropped a few chances early, but yeah, it was good to get the ball rolling with a few wickets, and the crowd were getting right behind us. It was a really good atmosphere all day.
Let's hope they can continue that today, Matty. That is the 5AA Sport.
Absolutely. 5AA's forecast.
Switch and save on service and repairs. Call 1300 Automasters.
Staying sunny, 32 today, 33 tomorrow, 29 Saturday, partly cloudy Sunday, 25, right now 18. 5AA, always Adelaide.
The Hyundai Keys to Summer event ends soon. Unlock offers now. Visit Hyundai.com.au.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
24 minutes to 7, the Prime Minister of Australia joining us in 1 hour's time on 5AA Breakfast.
If you've got any questions for him, please text them in, because I haven't thought of any yet.
What is it, just waiting for all the big picture policy announcements that have been made thus far.
Well,
it's a bit lost.
Do you feel like that? It's sort of hard to get up and about for.
Well, you're
what are we
asking
gonna
about
get
the absence of things.
What
not
are we going to get our teeth
has
into?
happened.
Yeah.
$5.
$5.
Woo!
Curly whirly.
Hold on to your hats. Yeah, the curly whirly stimulus package.
Who said curly whirly yesterday?
That was one of our listeners.
Yeah, it was on the. Was it a text? Or was it a phone call?
I think it was a police home care text.
It was.
Let's talk movies. If you're watching along at the Facebook and YouTube live stream, you know, Lucy Lopens joins us in the 5AA Breakfast studio. Morning, Yellows.
Hello.
I like your shirt.
Thank you.
It's got a very army disposal sort of quality.
That's what she was going for.
Lucy's joined some militia.
I did dress in camouflage this morning, knowingly that I may have to hide from some people today.
Yeah, you've got a bit of a Last of Us vibe. You ever watched that one about
I have not.
people being turned into hosts by
mushrooms?
Mushrooms, yeah, terrifying.
Fungi.
Fungi to be with.
Movies are better at Wallace Cinemas. This is home of big screen magic and entertainment. Visit wallace.com.au if you want to be part of the panel deciding what movie Lucy is reviewing. Get calling now on 8223 0000 and you could win yourself tickets to go see the movies. I'm going to give the wheel a spin, Luce.
I don't think you've ever done it.
I've never done it.
Well, this is
Here
really
he goes.
exciting.
Left-handed spin.
Oh, left-handed spin. The Chinaman.
The Chinaman. It's not the issue.
It's not the issue, dude.
Number 6, Lucy.
Number 6, the year is 1991. 1991.
91, okay.
I believe these two films are two very different categories. Correct me if I'm wrong. Obviously, I haven't seen them. Thelma and Louise up against Point Break.
Oh! They are very different films.
Different categories.
You ever held your gun in the air and yelled,
Thelma and Louise, Luce, is it's a feminist.
I thought Thelma and Louise has been in the bowl before.
Yeah, it has, but it hasn't won
before. It didn't
before.
win. Okay, I'm with you.
Some of the ones that we've done over the years haven't won. I've recycled them because I'm still yet to see the losers from a few years ago, if you will.
Yeah, okay.
So Thelma and Louise up against Point Break. Thelma and Louise is Susan Sarandon, isn't it? And
yes, Gina Davis.
And Gina Davis.
And a very, very young and hot Brad Pitt in one of his first roles as a beefcake youngster.
Controversially,
has a bit of a dalliance.
As
with
a
one of them.
female, I don't really rate Brad Pitt.
Really? Seriously?
Seriously.
Well, as a heterosexual bloke, I can look at Brad Pitt and go, wow.
Yeah, it's a well put together man.
He is.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that, but it doesn't do it for me, I have to say.
Tyler Durden.
I don't know who that is.
Is that what
Have
a
you
man
seen
looks
Fight
like?
Club?
Oh, I have seen Fight Club, and
Yeah,
I
Tyler Durden.
didn't rate it very highly.
So
Fight
He
Club.
dressed well in Fight Club.
So Point Break is Patrick Swayze.
Yeah.
Patrick Swayze.
Now, Point Break, is it the one where they dress as presidents and rob banks?
That is the one.
When not surfing?
Yeah, we're not surfing.
That sounds quite good.
Point Break, Point Break is awesome. 8223 0000. Text us to the police home care text line.
It's got a bit of Keanu in it too, hasn't it? Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
That's right.
So if you were to link these two together, is it some sort of some element of crime in there?
Yeah. Running from the law.
Right.
Thelma and Louise, I think you would love Thelma and Louise.
I think I'd like either of them.
Yeah, I think you would.
All right. It's Thelma and Louise up against Point Break. Get calling now. 8223 0000. Someone who calls in and casts their vote will be off to the movies themselves, thanks to the wonderful people at Wallace. Kaz in Brompton. What's Lucy watching?
I reckon Thelma and Louise. I've seen them both, and they're good, but I reckon Thelma and Louise is better. She'll really enjoy it if she gets to see it.
Yeah,
Thank you, Kaz.
Alison in Parkside, good morning.
Good morning. Point Break, absolutely. Keanu Reeves, Patrick Swayze, brilliant movie, and that girl in it, she's really cool as well. Brilliant movie.
Is that Laurie Petty?
I think so, yes. But I could be married to Keanu Reeves or Patrick Swayze. I mean, he's dead now, but, that's unfortunate. But no, definitely go with Point Break. And I disagree with you with Brad Pitt. You need to watch Legends of the Fall. Hot as.
Thank you, Alison. Great recommendation.
Alison.
Thank
you. Jane in Edwardstown has also called in. Morning to you, Jane.
Hello, 100% Point Break. Love all of it, apart from the shocking Australian accent at the very end.
Oh, no.
Yep.
Okay.
I've got a theory about this.
Are you still on the line, Jane?
Yes, I am.
Do the women folk of your generation have a bit of a thing for Patrick Swayze? Like, is it from Dirty Dancing? Like, because my wife loves Dirty Dancing. If that comes on, I just know all the.
Yeah,
there's
I
the
would
next 90
probably be able
minutes.
to recite that word for word.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it probably does stem from that. But it's a really, really good movie. I definitely vote for that one.
Were you a Ghost fan as well?
Not really. Not really a Demi Moore fan.
Oh, okay.
So, Point Break is a film about an undercover cop hanging out with some bank robbers who like to go surfing. I think women love this movie. My wife loves this movie. Alison and Jane are the first two callers through that have voted for it. It wouldn't be your classical chick flick, but I've got this funny feeling that we're going to have heaps of women who actually really like Point Break. I'm just looking at the police home care text line as well. I'm pretty confident in this theory. I think there's something to it. We've got time for another vote. If you want to get another vote, otherwise it's looking like Point Break. 8223 0000 or the police home care text line 04808 1395. Otherwise, I think we're going to call it. And
I think so.
And I think the tickets are going to go to.
Let's give them to Alison.
Alison.
The Dirty Dancing, I gave 3.5, not because of Patrick Swayze, just because I gave it 3.5. Jess Adamson's favourite film, though. She is of that era who loves that movie, like your wife.
Still one of the best-selling soundtracks of all time, too. I think. It is. Double CD.
Great.
You got a CD player?
You know what? I actually reckon I do still. I was the age of when Discmans first came out.
Oh, they were good.
And we did a road trip to Canberra, and my brother and I each got a Discman for Christmas. So we sat there with our Discman, and my brother had the Green Day soundtrack, and I had the Shrek 2 soundtrack.
Fantastic.
Which Green Day record? Would have been Dookie, probably. A big breakthrough hit.
Whichever one came out in 2005.
05.
It's amazing.
Oh, no,
that'd be like American Idiot.
I reckon it was, yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
amazing to think the Discman is that recent.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
20 years ago.
I bought one on my honeymoon the first time I got married in 1994 in New York City. You remember you used to go overseas because the electrical goods were cheap?
Gosh, I wonder who has the oldest Discman or oldest CD player still in use. Oldest cassette player? Gosh, I still have cassettes from my childhood.
I've got a cassette player. I've still got a cassette player.
Do you use it?
Yes. It's in the pool room at the shack, and the only form of music that works in there is cassettes. And it's great because I've got party tapes that I made in like 1987 and stuff. And you go, oh, how good's this? It's going to go from
remember how good it was
The Cure into the Smiths. Or
getting
whatever.
one of your friends to listen to a song you'd recorded on a cassette, and you're like, yeah, here it is. Hey. No, hang on, let me fast forward a bit.
Yeah.
No, reverse it. Hang on. Oh, no, it's on the other side.
So convenient.
That routine.
And now we have Spotify.
Yeah, exactly right.
Takes the fun out of it.
It does a little bit. It makes it all too easy. 15 minutes to 7. That was terrific. Looking forward to the review tomorrow. Point Break, Luce. Enjoy it.
Thelma and Louise remains in the bowl.
I was going to say Thelma and Louise loses out again. It'll stay in the bowl.
Yeah, it's a classic.
I'll put up another one from 91 for another day.
Taking the plot out of it, it's a nice movie for planning long drives, except you'd want to do a better job of driving than they did.
Yeah. Yeah. Good point. All right, let's check traffic. And when we come back, police and weather. Every office is different. Every client is special. Corporate Clean Property Services. No cut corners, just clean ones.
Thanks, Will, and morning, David. We're accident breakdown free today, so good start to the day. Simply some works to keep in mind. You'll find them at Plimpton. Sewer replacement works continuing on Marion Road near Pembroke Avenue. A little bit of activity at Glenelg East, Brighton Road near Dunbar Terrace. Speeds at 40 at Hallett Cove for works. Lonsdale Road near Perry Bar Road. And early morning cameras, Bulldog Road, Ingle Farm, and the Esplanade at Semaphore. Win over $768 million in today's USA Power Lotto. Get more zeros in your life with Australia's own lotteryoffice.com.au. Hurry, draw closes in just a few hours. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
A life-changing call. A life-changing prize. Are you about to win a brand new home? This is your last chance to buy tickets in the Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery. The absolute final deadline is midnight tomorrow. Don't miss your chance to live the dream in Somerton Park with no mortgage and no worries. Life-changing prizes. Life-changing impact. HomeLottery.com.au. Licence M14673.
What starts with A and ends with E? Supplements for you and me.
FIVEAA health supplements are now available at Chemist Warehouse, Australia's cheapest chemist. FIVEAA.com.au.
Now, no one loves a clean truck. No one loves a clean truck more than Ray Pepper. Ray's even launched his own truck washers. They're legendary, and so too are his truck strength cleaning products.
Now, this stuff's great. I've used it myself, and you can get your hands on the whole range of SA-made Peppers truck strength cleaning products for your car, caravan, boat or home. Made right here in SA. There are cleaners and protectants for the inside, detergents, waxes and polishes for the outside, glass cleaners, tyre shiners, as well as sponges, cloths and brooms.
You can make it shine like never before because everything goes better with a bit of pepper. Shop online and check out the Peppers Starter Pack with a bit of everything it's got in there for just $69.90. Go to peppersaustralia.com.au.
5AA's Tech Talk with your host, Adelaide tech guy Richard Pascoe. Thanks to Harvey Norman Computers.
Harvey Norman is bringing the heat with massive savings on HP and Asus laptops. For a limited time, you can save up to 20%. Yes, 20%. Need a lightweight, reliable laptop for work or study? The HP 14S with 8 gig of RAM is now just $598, saving you $130. For power users, the Asus VivoBook 15 with a huge 1 terabyte of storage is now $888. That's over $300 off. Or step up to serious performance with the HP Intel Core Ultra 5 laptop boasting 16 gig of RAM, a steal at $1,098, saving you $600. Harvey Norman delivers the best brands, the best range and the best prices guaranteed. Don't miss out on these tech bargains. Shop now. Terms and conditions apply.
Check out this great offer at a Harvey Norman store near you. The Hyundai Keys to Summer event ends soon. Unlock offers now. Visit Hyundai.com.au.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
12 minutes to 7.
Oh, no, it's Kid Rock. Get him off. Play the original.
Was that a statement about Kid Rock's political beliefs?
In part. Damn cracker.
Let's head to the Weather Bureau. Daniel Sherwin-Simpson joins us as we look ahead to the weekend now, it being Thursday morning. Daniel, good morning to you.
Good morning.
How is the weather tracking as we get closer to the weekend?
Yeah, so we're looking at a warmer day still on for today, 32 degrees, and similar thing for Friday. But we will see things cool down a little bit as we head into the weekend. We get a high-pressure system moving into the bight, which brings some fresh southeasterly winds off the ocean, so that'll cool things down to 29 on Saturday and 25 on Sunday.
That's nice, and there's still no sign of any rain in the immediate future, is there, Daniel?
No, unfortunately, no. It's not looking like we're going to see anything significant over the city. On Sunday, we may see a very, very light sprinkle about the hills, but that's all there's going to be. Definitely no significant totals.
Oh, we'll wait with bated breath for it to occur. Good on you, Daniel. Sherwin-Simpson there from the Weather Bureau.
All right, let's head to SAPOL. Sergeant Peter Williams is on the line. Peter, a man and a woman have been arrested after being found, this is good, in a stolen car with drugs.
Yeah, nothing like throwing yourself out, making yourself obvious for anyone here. But at 10:30 last night, police observed a green Holden sedan on South Road at Mile End with registration plates that weren't assigned for that vehicle. They stopped the vehicle and had a conversation with its occupants, and checks revealed the vehicle's actually been stolen from Virginia back on the 11th of October last year. As a result, the vehicle and its occupants were searched, and police located a quantity of methamphetamine, a clear substance suspected of being fantasy, numerous mobile phones, a knife, scales, and approximately $4,000 in cash. The driver, a 34-year-old man from Black Forest, was arrested. He was charged with illegal use of a motor vehicle, driving disqualified, driving with unassigned plates, and trafficking in a controlled drug. The passenger, a 34-year-old woman from Vale Park, was also arrested for trafficking in a controlled drug and carrying an offensive weapon. Not surprisingly, both have been refused bail, and they'll have a date with the Port Adelaide Magistrates Court today.
Geez, there's been a few like this lately where it's like catching fish in a barrel for SAPOL. That story out of Murray Bridge, I think it was, where someone was driving along the highway and they had so much dope in the boot of their car they couldn't shut the boot.
Yeah, it's not unusual for this to occur, that when you find one, you tend to find a string of them. So
yeah.
We catch some of the easy ones are pretty funny when you get them.
Yeah, absolutely. Pete, also 3 people have been arrested for stealing copper in Manopara.
Yeah, another one where people obviously didn't think about their getaway plan. About 4:10 this morning, police were called to Coventry Road after reports of people acting suspiciously near an electrical pit. Police quickly got on scene and found the trio sitting nearby in a station wagon with the copper cabling piled beside their vehicle. So the trio, a 43-year-old man, a 35-year-old woman and a 43-year-old woman, all arrested. They've been charged with theft, property damage and breaching bail. The man and the woman from Elizabeth Downs were also refused bail, and they'll attend court today. The other woman's been bailed to the 8th of May. So another situation where taking too much that you can't fit it in your car.
Absolutely.
And just finally, Peter, there's been a house fire at Black Forest that's now under investigation.
Yeah, about 4:45 this morning, police and fire crews went to Cowper Road after reports of a fire, and on arrival, the house was well ablaze. The occupants and residents of the home and the neighbours from nearby property had managed to evacuate safely. Female occupant at the address was taken to hospital for some minor burns to her hand. The cause of the fire at this stage is unknown, and fire cause investigators will be attending this morning. So anyone who may have heard or seen suspicious activity in the area and has any information to contact Crime Stoppers.
Good stuff there, Sergeant Pete Williams from SAPOL. Thanks for joining us. Mountain of text on the Duttons text line. Some of them are about... sorry, not the Duttons text line. What am I talking about?
Police home care.
The police home care text line. Old habits die hard. I just read the word Dutton. Someone defending Dutts for his vision, saying he's suggesting nuclear power. That's pretty big. But a lot of despondency about the lack of big picture thinking beyond that on both sides of politics. Rob says, do people think the government should give... People thinking the government should give them more, rather, do they stop and think about where the government sources these funds? Sure, we need to pay tax, but to think you can bribe me with my own money is insulting. If you govern us correctly and look after the people in our communities that really need it, then I'll vote on your achievements, not your bribes. Andrew says our government should look at adjusting the tax brackets yearly to avoid bracket creep, as they do in the US. One here from Kaz. G'day, folks. Unfortunately, in today's society, the lowest common denominator seems to be what the political parties believe will win them the election. 'Tis a great shame. Brett says society today survives on daily sugar hits, i.e. likes on Facebook, reality TV, etc. Hence, political thinking reflects that. And our good mate Ben, who's always got a stat handy, both parties are shameful. Government expenditure has gone up $260 billion since 2019. It's an increase of 50%. In Howard's last full year, the government only spent $253 billion in total.
It's gone up 50% in 6 years.
That's staggering, isn't it? Ben doesn't get stats wrong.
No.
We do.
We have from time to time.
That's why we like Ben.
That's right. That is completely outrageous. Keep them coming in. I thought they were a very thoughtful bank of texts we got in that first hour about where we are at on the cusp of this election campaign becoming official, but still very much feeling like one.
There was one I really liked too about Hawke Lager. Here we go. At least Hawkey has a beer named after him post-mortem. Can you imagine drinking a Dutton Pale Ale or an Albanese Lager? Room temperature, bland, bloating, dishwater.
Not a lot. The text line this morning, evidence, Exhibit A, as to why both major parties have got declining primary votes at the moment.
I hope the Prime Minister's not on the line waiting to come on in half an hour and listen to all this. I'd kind of like it if he did.
Well, he might like the fact that it's spread around evenly.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's a sort of a generalised
and isn't it
despondency.
Great? I mean, imagine doing this on breakfast radio in Pyongyang while Kim Jong-un was about to come on.
And once again, he's nailed it with another raft of policies.
I see he got another hole in one yesterday too. Is there anything he can't do?
8223000 is the number. You can jump into the conversation anytime, or if you'd like to share your thoughts, you can do so via the Police Home Care text line, or indeed even the Facebook and YouTube live stream. You'll note things are looking a little different because we're in a brand new studio here on level 3 at FIVEAA, whilst ours upstairs are getting torn to pieces, I think, at the moment.
We accidentally went to level 4 this morning, yet again.
Yeah, that would have been an intriguing next 3 hours for everybody.
That's right.
As we talked among ourselves.
Exactly.
The Prime Minister after 7:30 today, and very shortly we'll have a wrap of the morning stories. One thing that did cross my mind, and I went down the population rabbit hole last night. We mentioned earlier the 1.8 million people that are coming to Australia through till 2029 as detailed in the budget. How many of those are coming to South Australia?
Yeah, good question.
72,000 is the answer.
Okay.
72,000. So, not a huge amount of the 1.8 million, but 72,000 is essentially Mount Barker, Whyalla, and Mount Gambier combined. So if you think about it that way, in 4 years we're going to have our 3 biggest cities combined coming on stream, and you'll consider the issues we've got at the moment about utilities and infrastructure and so forth. That's a massive addition. So that means, according to that 2.5 people per house number that I was talking about earlier, we would need 30-odd thousand homes. Peter Mountasker's put out a press release the other day about all the rezoning and things they've done, all the rezoning and all the land they've opened up. And
wasn't that 30,000 homes?
It was about 7,000 homes.
Is that all it was?
Well, that was for the rezoning. That was one specific component of it. But
in all four regions, Roseworthy, Goolwa, whatever the other two
that
were.
was about 61,000 homes potentially. But they were talking about what they've already done. Like, the point I'm trying to make this morning is we're a long way behind where we need to be just for it to be as bad as it is now in 4 years' time.
Yeah.
With all these people that are coming. Let's head for a change of pace to the United States. Rob Scott from Channel 7 joins us following the most expensive and extraordinary moment in reality TV history, and it featured an Australian. Here is Deal or No Deal Island out of the United States.
Deal or no deal? No. Deal.
I actually watched this episode by chance last night because my brother, who's a reality TV nerd, follows it all, said, you've got to see this. It is unbelievable. Rob Scott's covering it for Channel 7. Rob, an Australian on an American TV show breaking an all-time record. This is remarkable.
Amazing. And I actually just spoke to that lucky guy, David Janae. He's in the middle of a whole host of interviews, but he can't quite believe it himself. He won $5.8 million, which is the equivalent of about 9.2 million Australian dollars. This is on the Deal or No Deal Island, as you said. It's basically a spin-off of the show that we have in Australia, but it's set on an island and they do a whole lot of physical challenges as well. So it's a bit of a cross between Deal or No Deal and Survivor. And actually, David won Australian Survivor a while ago. So he won $500,000 on that show. Now he's gone and blown that out the water with over $9 million winning this show. The biggest cash prize ever for a game show. It's just incredible.
So, Rob, this is the show where you got to guess what's in the box, don't you?
The case.
The case.
That's the show we know, and this one includes some challenges through the episodes. And basically, to get to the final, your cases that you win in the challenges have to add up to more than the other competitors. So there's a bit of gameplay strategy play throughout this, which David was obviously pretty good at to win Australian Survivor, and he employed those same techniques here. But when it comes down to the final episode, it's all about, you want to pick what's in the box or you don't. You want to keep guessing until you get up to the ultimate prize. He got down to the last two briefcases. At the main prize, which was over $12 million, was still in play, and he had his two case, which turned out to only have $75 in it, and the banker offered him $5.8 million not to take that last guess, and he took it because if he hadn't, he would have walked away with only $75. So,
he was also offered over the time $1.8 million, and he said, no, I'll keep going. He was offered $2.9 million. He said, no, I'm going to keep going. I've never seen anything like it. It was one of the most extraordinary things I've ever seen. And he is now just a superstar of reality TV in the United States, and everyone who watches Australian Survivor will know who he is, the Golden God. Rob, thank you for that. It's just a staggering sum of money. Rob Scott for 7 News. You'll see all the pictures tonight from 6 o'clock. 5AA News is on the way. Our wrap of the morning stories next, and then the Prime Minister of Australia after 7:30.
Up-to-the-minute news for South Australia. This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Sunny and 32 for Adelaide today with the 7 o'clock news. Good morning. I'm Matthew Pantelis.
Physio Extra for Locomat robotic technology treating stroke, cerebral palsy, brain and spinal cord injuries. Visit physioextra.com.
A house fire last night has destroyed a Ranella property. The blaze broke out a little after 6 p.m. Prema Osborne from the MFS says the fire was extensive.
The occupant has self-evacuated prior to MFS arrival and was treated on scene for minor burns. Fire investigators have estimated structural damage at $700,000. Due to the compromised structural integrity of the property, fire investigators could not complete the investigation and will be attending the scene this morning to determine cause.
Meantime, a fire at a Black Forest house just before 5 a.m. is under police investigation. Residents and neighbours evacuated a woman in hospital with minor burns to her hand. Fire cause investigators will be attending there throughout the morning. The Federal Health Minister says the government will never compromise on the pharmaceutical benefits scheme amid fears medicines will be the next sector dragged into US trade tensions. US President Donald Trump has flagged tariffs on pharmaceuticals at some point. Mark Butler telling Today the government is committed to affordable, subsidised medication.
Our PBS is never going to be up for negotiation. Never, ever, ever will we negotiate on one of the best medicine systems in the world that gives Australians access to the best treatments available on the planet at affordable Australian PBS prices. We will never negotiate on that.
Federal Parliament continues sitting this week. The opposition leader Peter Dutton to deliver the budget reply speech tonight, promising a 50% cut to the fuel excise for 1 year. Nearly 9 in 10 regular pokie gamblers are experiencing harm, according to new research by the Australian Gambling Research Centre. The findings from the National Gambling Trend Study call for a midnight shutdown of pokie venues and spending limits on poker machines. Research fellow Dr Nancy Greer says their findings suggest recent measures to curb harmful gambling don't go far enough.
Our research revealed that 87% of regular pokies gamblers surveyed are experiencing harm, and that existing harm reduction measures, they could be strengthened. This includes shutting pokie areas from midnight, further limiting the length of time people can gamble, and lowering the amount that they can load into a poker machine at a time.
South Australia's recorded the lowest rate of home break-ins in the nation, according to new statistics. ABS data showing the state experienced big drops in crime victimisation rates in areas such as malicious property damage, attempted and actual break-ins. Attorney General Kaya Ma says a combination of things have led to the fall.
Investment in police, over $300 million more in police, allowing frontline officers to get out on the beat, but also changes in laws. We now have the toughest knife laws in the country, posting and boasting laws before Parliament, and new youth offenders laws to be introduced this year.
The full war plans text exchange between senior Trump officials and a journalist have now been released. Nine's US correspondent Lauren Tomasi.
These newly published messages contain precise timings and weapon systems of a US strike in Yemen, with the details messaged to a signal group of top Trump advisors by the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth. Included in that text chain are messages saying, "We are go for mission launch," and the wording, "This is when the first bombs will definitely drop." This kind of information is typically highly classified, but the Trump administration is doubling down that the communications are not war plans and they are not classified. There are now growing bipartisan calls for an investigation as the White House faces intense scrutiny over its handling of national security information.
Turning to 5AA Sport.
Gliderol Garage Doors, adding strength, style and safety to your home. Gliderol.com.au.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Matty. Port Adelaide has made 3 changes for tonight's big clash against Essendon at Marvel Stadium. Kiara Parker reports.
The Power have recalled ruck Ivan Soldo. Asava Radagalia will also play his first game this year after a minor knee issue. Tom Cochrane, the son of former Port and North player Stewart, will debut, set to become the first player with Tourette syndrome to feature in the AFL. The Bombers also fielding a debutant naming Saad El Hawali, and Essendon welcomes back defender Jordan Ridley for the Marvel Stadium clash as the Dons aim for their first win this season.
The rest of the sides for round 3 will be released tonight, and you can catch up with all of that news with Rowie and Timmy G on The Sports Show. Let's go to cricket. South Australia is in a strong position after day 1 of its Sheffield Shield final against Queensland at Karen Rolton Oval. SA reached 6 for 158 at stumps. That was in reply to Queensland's first innings total of just 95. Jake Lehmann is at the crease on 42, while Ben Menenti will join him on 36. Meantime, Australia has clean swept the Women's T20 series against New Zealand with an 8-run win in Wellington. Georgia Vold top scoring for Australia with 75 off 57 balls. Annabelle Sutherland then taking 4 wickets. Argentina has beaten Brazil 4-1 in a World Cup qualifier, with Lionel Messi and Neymar both missing the match due to injury. And in some Formula 1 to finish, Kiwi Liam Lawson has been dropped by Red Bull to its second team just 2 races into the season. He'll swap seats with Yuki Tsunoda. And that's the 5AA Sport.
5AA's traffic.
Giza Physiotherapy, Rehabilitation and Strength Training. Build strength with precision at Giza Norwood.
At Wingfield, a breakdown on the north-south motorway near Cormac Road. Crash at Port Adelaide this morning. Commercial Road near the Birkenhead Bridge. And Plimpton civil replacement works continuing on Marion Road near Pembroke Avenue down to 1 lane. Getting busy for works at Goodwood Road near Railway Terrace. Slow South Road Karata Park with the Camera Grange Road at Grange. Where can you find great specials? It's easy at Adelaide Centre Central Market. Pick up a bargain and say hi to all the familiar faces at the market every Tuesday till Saturday. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
5AA's forecast.
Switch and save on service and repairs. Call 1300 Automasters.
Staying sunny, 32 today, 33 tomorrow, 29 for Saturday, partly cloudy Sunday, 25. Right now, 17. 5AA, always Adelaide.
Streets are getting a little crazy. Look here. Look, shorty got back. Should I ask her for a dance? Hold on, there's too many in the wolf pack.
The all-electric Kia EV5 with built-in cooled storage and long-range option with up to 555 kilometres of range. The Kia EV5. Visit kia.com.au to find out more.
Kia, movement that inspires.
If you can't stop using your mobile phone illegally, drink or drug driving, driving without a seatbelt, speeding or driving dangerously, South Australia Police will stop you. With more patrols, more road safety cameras and more driver testing, stop breaking the rules before we stop you. Think road safety. A message from the Government of South Australia.
From your first call to after the funeral, the women of White Lady Funerals will be by your side. We are here to listen to you and to guide you. White Lady Funerals. Let our strength help you find yours.
Unique, loyal, fun-loving. That's what we look for in our pals. When you're next spending time with your best friends, don't forget some of the best pals you can have. Parafield Airport Liquor Store has your everyday favourites right through to those hard-to-find products. That's what great pals do. Sam and Jamie from Parafield Airport Liquor Store know every drop on the shelf, so you can always rely on their advice. Parafield Airport Liquor Store. Pals. Next to Roulette's Tavern, Kings Road, Parafield.
Start your caravan or motorhome journey with confidence at Camper Agent RV Supercentre. For a limited time, we're offering massive savings and 3-year extended warranty on eligible pre-owned motorhomes from Kia and Talbot. There's also great savings across our huge range of brands, including Winnebago, Windsor, Corrimal and Adria. Make 2025 your best year ever. Visit Camper Agent RV Supercentre Parafield Gardens to find the perfect RV to start your adventure.
Setting the agenda for South Australia. This is 5AA, always Adelaide.
The Hyundai Keys to Summer event ends soon. Unlock offers now. Visit Hyundai.com.au.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
Good morning to you if you're joining us for the very first time on this Thursday morning, the 27th of March. The Prime Minister of Australia is not too far away. He'll be joining us on the program after 7:30. Looking forward to that chat. You might have a question for him. We'd love to hear from you. 8223 or jump on the Police Home Care text line 0448 08 1395. To kick off the news wrap this morning, we're going to head straight to Black Forest. That's the scene of a house fire that police are investigating, and it's where we find Jade Robran this morning, who's been speaking to some of the people nearby. Jade, good morning to you.
Good morning, guys. Yes, I have. Neighbours got a scary wake-up call at around 4:50 this morning when their neighbour's house at 20 Cowper Street in Black Forest caught alight. Now, the fireys were called at around 4:50. 12 fireys rushed to the scene and they found a fire at the rear of the house, a lean-to in the laundry. Now, crews battled clutter conditions, so there was a lot of things in the house. There is quite significant damage to the rear of the property, but thankfully this really fast action from the fireys prevented that from spreading to the rest of the house. But I can tell you there is a lot of smoke in the air, a lot of smoke damage to the house. Now, the cause of the fire, it is under investigation. Police and MFS are on the scenes now, but we'll look into the cause. But one of the occupants has been taken to hospital. I spoke to Pamela, who lives just next door and is good friends with the neighbour. She has a little bit more information on how perhaps it did start. Here she is.
So, Pamela, what time did you get woken up to all this noise and action this morning?
4 o'clock. It was 4 o'clock in the morning. The wind actually woke me, and I went and shut the window, my bedroom window, because the blind was rattling. And I thought I heard noises next door, but you don't really worry. And then my neighbour, my beautiful 25-year-old neighbour, Tim, came running down. Pamela, you must get up. and I was shutting all my windows in my home. So.
And do you know the neighbours that live in here?
Yes, dear Pammy. Pammy is, I won't mention surnames, she's 85 and her daughter Laura would be 50-odd, and sadly it was her cigarette that started the fire. She woke up with her T-shirt on fire. Raced to the laundry, soaked it, but I guess I don't know what happened. I can't speculate what happened, but obviously sparks were in the home and it started this fire. It was raging, the whole back.
So when you got up, could you see the flames?
Oh, the back of the house, yes, oh, absolutely. Fire everywhere. I ran to get my vehicle out of the garage, drove down the driveway, and I was stopped by the fireman. Take it back, ma'am. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. So, yes, they were wonderful. 5 units have attended here today. 5 units have just been amazing.
Extraordinary insight. Jade Robran at the scene of that house fire, speaking to the next door neighbour who got an incredible view of all that transpired last night.
Pammy, we haven't had that confirmed yet by the MFS.
No, that's the neighbour's take.
But if that is the reason for it, it seems in hindsight somewhat avoidable, does it not?
It would seem that way.
Yeah.
There'll be an investigation to come, no doubt. But that's gave you a bit of an insight of what it's like waking up in the night when your next door neighbour's house suddenly goes up in flames. Certainly is. Big news this morning in pretty much every newspaper right around the country ahead of Peter Dutton's budget reply speech tonight, which we now know he will use to announce a 12-month halving of the fuel excise. So that will drop it from 50.8 cents to 25.4 cents at a cost to the taxpayer of $6 billion. The numbers have been crunched by News Limited, so they're saying this. If you fill up a 55-litre tank once a week, you'd save about $14 a week, about $700 to $750 in a year. If you're obviously driving in a bigger car, or you're a tradie, or you got a truck, it's going to be more. But that's sort of the broad thinking. Here is Peter Dutton on 2GB.
The Albanese government's driven up interest rates on 12 occasions. Everything's costing more, and people are really struggling. But we'll give you 70 cents a day in 15 months' time. It just doesn't make any sense. So we've committed to the support being provided now, and that will make a difference in people's budgets straight away.
The headline on the front page of today's Tiser is Fuels Gold, suggesting that this policy makes limited sense. The bit I don't understand is where is the long-term sort of policy behind it, given that it's going to be scrapped for a year, and then it's
all temporary. It's all
going to be brought in for a year, then scrapped. Also, we've had a couple of listeners in the country who are saying the people who are struggling the most in South Australia, I reckon we've got a drought at the moment that our eastern states-dominated nation does not know exists. If you ask people in Canberra right now, people in Sydney, people in Melbourne, people in Brisbane, maybe not so much Melbourne because Western Victoria is in drought as well. But if you ask people in Sydney, Canberra and Brisbane, what's been the dominant sort of weather issue in Australia over the last few months, I'd say it's been the cyclone and the floods. They have not got the faintest idea what's going on, north of the Goyder line. And a couple of people made the point that the people who actually need real financial relief at the moment are the ones on the land.
Completely.
Who don't actually pay fuel excise, but they're still going to buy petrol.
Right. So they get nothing.
Yeah. Yet again, more meaningless crap.
It's all
Band-Aids. Winning marginal seats.
It's all Band-Aids. If our major political parties right now were medical doctors, they'd prescribe a Panadol for everything.
Yeah, that's right.
There's nothing about healing root causes.
Take two if pain persists.
So Anthony Albanese's government says, we appreciate energy bills are high. So what do? Do we address the underlying structural issues in energy generation? No, we'll give you a temporary rebate. Peter Dutton says, we appreciate cost of living's out of control. So we're going to tackle things to make the economy more productive and grow it. Are we going to undertake tax reform? No, what we'll do is we'll give you a temporary little bonus on how much petrol you pay. Like, this is the smallest of small picture thinking.
Yeah. I must admit, I'm actually sitting here really struggling to think of serious questions to ask the Prime Minister at 7:30, because you sort of feel like saying, this is all just crap, isn't it, PM? Which isn't much of a start.
Well, maybe we'll see where it goes from there.
Yeah, that's right.
See what he says to that. This is you know what? Well, let's go to the Adelaide City Council for some big picture thinking, because at least this is something we can sink our teeth into a little bit. They're wanting to reinvestigate the proposal for a tram to North Adelaide on O'Connell Street. The arguments being Live Golf's going to be in the city and 88 O'Connell. Suddenly, it's a denser population in that part of Adelaide. Tuesday night's meeting at the council voted unanimously to write to Peter Malinauskas to say this is something that needs to be looked at. It's a crucial time.
It's a good idea, isn't it?
I think it's a good. I'm interested in what our listeners think. 8223
Will North Adelaide people like it?
They can text us as well on the Police Home Care text line.
The wrong type of people into the area.
The big problem they've got from doing it at the moment, you might recall this last time this was talked about, is the King William Road Bridge, which can't hold the infrastructure required for a tram.
One.
Yeah, so they need to.
The one you walk over to go to the footy.
Yeah, that's right.
Really?
Yeah, they need to redo that. They need to do it up. They need to zhuzh it up a little bit. So for that,
could we build some sort of overpass?
Oh, now you're talking.
Like a monorail. Is there a federal election the track could bend?
What do you think, folks? Do you like the idea? Tram to O'Connell Street? Let us know, 8223 0000. And overnight, Jeff Goldberg, the journalist from The Atlantic who was accidentally added to a message group that detailed plans to attack Houthi rebels in Yemen, has released more of the texts. Essentially, he said he didn't want to do this, but everyone said he's a conspiracy theorist. He makes things up about Trump. He hates Trump, so he fabricates it. So he said, "Well, I'll release more."
Well, the Trump administration has said, because they're trying to defend this, because Trump has described it as a glitch and admitted that it was an error, and that there's going to be an investigation into who did it. But Trump himself has said, look, none of this stuff was maximum security sort of information.
Well, here's a bit of background. Here's Caroline Leavitt, the White House press secretary.
He is a registered Democrat. Goldberg's wife is also a registered Democrat and a big Democrat donor who used to work under who? Hillary Clinton. This is the same Jeffrey Goldberg who infamously lied about weapons of mass destruction to get us into the Iraq War, which cost trillions of dollars and thousands of American soldiers.
So that was initially the tact, discredit the journalist, say he's full of it, he's made it up, he's overblown it and so forth. So he released more. I'll read one of them out to you and let our listeners be the judge. This is from Pete Hegseth, the Defence Secretary, entitled Team Update. Time now, 11:44, weather favourable, just confirmed with CENTCOM we're a go for mission launch. And then he's detailed what the timeline's going to be. 12:15, FA-18's launch first strike package. 1:45, trigger-based FA-18 first strike window starts. Target terrorist is at his known location, so should be on time. Also, strike drones launch MQ-9s. 2:10, more FA-18s launch second strike package. 2:15, strike drones on target. This is when the first bombs will definitely drop, pending earlier trigger-based targets. 3:36, F-18 second strike starts. Also, first sea-based Tomahawks launched. More to follow per timeline. We're currently clean on OPSEC. Godspeed to our warriors. Now, he's saying none of this is a big deal. Have a listen to Pete Hegseth.
I noticed this morning out came something that doesn't look like war plans. And as a matter of fact, they even changed the title to attack plans because they know it's not war plans. There's no units, no locations, no routes, no flight paths, no sources, no methods, no classified information. You know who sees war plans? I see them every single day. I looked at them this morning. I looked at attack plans this morning.
Pete Hegseth's spin went faster than any of the jets involved in that strike. He immediately, when he was first confronted with these texts, said, this guy makes things up. It's all made up. And now it's, wow. Yeah, they're real, but...
I must admit, I wonder about the ethics of the journo publishing it. Because if you've received something in error, unless you didn't realise that it was an error, but I think you'd have to.
He knew immediately.
He did know immediately.
Well, he only published it. He didn't publish it before the attack.
No, that's true. That's true. So he sat on it. The only local sort of equivalent I can think of someone receiving something in error that had huge political ramifications in South Australia is Ian McLaughlin when he was the Minister for Defence in the Howard government. and he received a parcel of documents relating to the secret women's business at High Marsh Island, and it was intended for somebody else who worked at Parliament House who was also called Ian McLaughlin. And it quite understandably ended up in his office, and he presumed it was for him, and he read it, and he talked about it in Parliament. Because he'd talked about it in Parliament, he then decided, and John Howard was actually trying to talk him out of it, but a hugely principled man, McLaughlin, he said, well, I'm going to sack myself as a minister.
That's amazing, isn't it?
For misleading Parliament.
Yeah, that's remarkable. Well, it doesn't sound like anyone's getting sacked over in the US. Hey, yeah, this is a good text. I don't want to give too much detail on it because I might identify people that might not want to be, but someone said that they were a member of their family was originally involved in the North Terrace tram extension plan and said the King William Street Bridge would need a total rebuild to take trams to North Adelaide. Huge logistical project and expense, plus the wind-up past the old Women's and Children's Hospital is an issue as well.
Can't go up Montefiore Hill, can it?
Wouldn't have thought. Could it? No.
I'd make it staggeringly expensive.
Yeah, you'd need to widen it.
Yeah, no, that wouldn't work.
Thank you for that. Appreciate it. That gives you some sense of behind the scenes of the big issues with regard to undertaking that project. Let's check traffic. We'll come back with more, including sport, in just a moment. Every office is different. Every client is special. Corporate Clean Property Services. No cut corners, just clean ones.
Thanks, Will. At Wingfield, a breakdown on the north-south motorway near Cormac Road, a crash at Port Adelaide, Commercial Road near the Birkenhead Bridge, and a breakdown at Leeward Gardens this morning. Look out for that one. It's on the freeway up track to the Devil's Oboe. Got speeds at 40 and lane close too. Slow for works at Glenelg East, Brighton Road near Dunbar Terrace, busy Marion Road at the Anzac Highway, intersection with the Camera Grange Road Grange. South Australia, RAA Rewards is here with hundreds of ways to save every day. It's better to be a member with RAA Rewards. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
5AA Mornings with Graham Goodings.
As the election looms, the Australian government has unveiled a budget brimming with promises, dubbed the budget you have when there's an election in the wind. Surprise, surprise. It's more about getting Labor over the line than improving the lot of average Australians.
Graham Goodings.
Every Australian taxpayer will enjoy a tax cut. That's if you can possibly enjoy an extra $5 a week. That actually doesn't kick in until July next year.
Weekday mornings from 9 on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
The most frustrating thing about having your car repaired after a collision can be the wait. Sometimes months. At Premier Panel Services, the wait is one thing you won't have to worry about. We've expanded our workshop and our highly skilled team. It means we're better equipped to deliver an outstanding outcome for you and your car. RAA and MTA approved, Premier Panel Services work with most insurance companies. So ask for Premier Panel Services and get back on the road sooner.
Ignition for Men. Adelaide's home of impeccable class and style offer a range of suits by leading Italian brands, including the unparalleled quality of Armani, Canali, Zegna, and more. Ignition for Men. What you wear speaks volumes about who you are and where you're going in the world. Make your mark with Ignition for Men. Best fit, best brands. 54 Paynham Road, Stepney. ignitionformen.com.au.
When it comes to reducing pain and rebuilding strength, Kiesa leaves nothing to chance. Our university-qualified health professionals don't just treat problem areas. They design personalised training programs using Swiss-engineered machines unique to Kiesa. These machines safely isolate the affected area, test your strength, and help rebuild your muscles for a stronger, more active and healthier life. Kiesa, building strength with precision in Norwood.
At Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, choosing your new Volkswagen is easy. They're clearing all 2024 plated Volkswagens. How good is this? You get free on-roads, free stamp duty and 12 months worth of rego. All are ready for immediate delivery. And we have easy finance options and remember our next day servicing. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen's 2024 plate clearance. You'd better be quick. Salisbury Highway, just a short drive from the city.
Go Harvey Norman. Hisense 2024 TV run out on now. Race in for clearance prices across the range. Big screens, king screens, all screens on sale. Save $400 on Hisense 75-inch mini LED TV. Save over $1,400 plus get bonus local delivery and installation on Hisense 100-inch TV. Conditions apply. Shop in store. Shop online. If it's a Hisense 2024 model, it's got to go. Be quick. Limited time while stocks last. Hisense 2024 TV run out on now at Harvey Norman.
Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
The Hyundai Keys to Summer event ends soon. Unlock offers now. Visit Hyundai.com.au.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
Well, a nice little part of the footy calendar in 2025 is the knowledge that on a Thursday morning, the footy weekend has started. Huge game tonight, Port and Essendon. Essendon looking for redemption, Port looking to carry on the form of last week and do so without getting another injury. We're going to get all the footy tips on this Thursday morning from the footy tip doyen himself as he peers in his crystal ball with us each and every week. It is Ryan Fitzgerald. Fitzy, good morning to you.
Yeah, g'day, mate. Can I just wait there, boys? I'll have a room at the Crown Towers, September 27. You there, lads? Sorry.
Sorry to interrupt you there, mate.
Sorry, lads. I'm already booking in grand finals already.
I was going to ask, mate, is the lid off? The lid's off, isn't it?
Well, look, we haven't really played anyone special yet, have we? And it's a tough one this week. I mean, North Melbourne, unbelievable win on the week, and they got some amazing kids, so it's another challenge for us. But we can joke about it, can't we? I mean, I'm trying to think back in 97 and 98 whether we were that confident going into the finals. We weren't we?
No
Because,
way,
no. Certainly not 98.
Well, 98 we got smashed by Melbourne in the first final.
Well, that's right.
Absolutely dismantled.
Under the new final system, we wouldn't have gone through.
Because finished fifth. Yeah.
We finished fifth, which not many teams have done. I think the Bulldogs did it in 2016, but not many teams
Well, I
have
hate to say it, Fitzy, the one year that Crows fans felt super confident was 2017.
I know.
Just steamrolling the competition.
And we kicked the first 2-3 goals we thought we were on here, and then it was a disaster. But, no, it is. It's exciting at the moment. But, yeah, North Melbourne will be a challenge because they do have some guns and some kids coming through, so it'll be a great game.
Well, the big one tonight, though, is Port, who did bounce back in fine fashion last week. Geez, they can't take a trick injury-wise with poor old Lukosius out. How do you see it unfolding at Marvel tonight, Fitzy, against the Bombers?
Yeah. Look, good time to get the Bombers at the moment. They're very fragile. They will bounce back, but they just didn't put up a fight last week against the Crows. So there's still elements of Port Adelaide's game which are very, very good. They've got some amazing players, and I think they'll overrun Essendon tonight. I really do think that will happen. The more games that they lose, the more pressure that Ken Hinkley gets heaped on him. So I really do think that the boys will want to get up for him. But, yeah, Lukosius, poor bugger, his first home game at Adelaide Oval and something like that happens. It sounds like he's going to be out for quite a while too, so I feel for him.
Yeah. Now, Carlton looking for their first win of the year tomorrow night against the Dogs. Can they do it?
No, they can't. The Dogs are playing pretty good football. I just don't. Carlton's not over the line for me yet, so I'm going to go the Bullies to win that one.
Then Melbourne and the Suns at the MCG. Suns favourite at the MCG.
Melbourne will bounce back. Melbourne do have a good team, and obviously we've heard what Max Gawn was going through. I think they will bounce back, so they'll beat the Suns in Melbourne.
Now, this could be interesting. Saints and Richmond.
Yeah, this is going to be a great game. Saints show, I mean, that was an unbelievable effort to get flogged by the Crows round one and then come out and beat Geelong. Unbelievable. So I'm going to continue with the Saints form. They'll win that one.
And then 3 from 3, Hawthorn taking on the Giants at their happy hunting ground down in Tasmania.
This is going to be the game of the round. It's going to be an unbelievable game. So I'm really looking forward to this. But they do play Tasmania very well, Hawthorn. So I think the Hawks will get up.
Now, this could be good after that awesome prelim final last year. Brisbane and Geelong at the Gabba.
This is a great game as well. But you got to go Brisbane at the Gabba. At home, they're going to be too strong.
And then Crows North. Danger game. What do you think?
On the Crows, I'm riding the Crows for as long as I can. So their confidence is up at the moment. If one area is sort of down a little bit, you've got others coming in to sort of to prove themselves. So I'm really enjoying watching them play and their attacking style at the moment. So I'm going to go the Crows to beat the Roos.
And just finally, the Derby, as they call it in the West. What do you reckon?
Yeah, you sort of hope that West Coast get up. I mean, this is the best thing about games. It's like the showdown because the underdogs always sort of seem to get up. I'm actually going to pick the Eagles as a roughie to beat Fremantle. So, yeah, I'm going to go West Coast.
Well, they almost beat Brisbane last week, so why not? Good stuff, Fitzy. We'll do it all again next week, mate. Have a good one.
Good on you, boys.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Sunny and 32 today with the 7:30 news. I'm Matthew Pantelis.
Physio Extra offers Locomat and Armio robotic technology services at their Marion and Eastwood clinics. physioextra.com.
2 house fires overnight under investigation. A Ranella house destroyed by a fire at 6 last night, residents safely evacuating. Then at Black Forest, a fire at 4 a.m. resulted in a woman taken to hospital with minor burns. Neighbour Pamela says it was a shock.
Dear Pammy, she's 85 and her daughter Laura would be 50-odd, and sadly it was her cigarette that started the fire. She woke up with her T-shirt on fire.
Opposition leader Peter Dutton will counter Labor's tax cuts by announcing plans to halve the petrol excise for a year. It'll be amongst the announcements Mr Dutton makes in tonight's budget reply speech. The move to cost $6 billion. Mr Dutton says the coalition's measures will do more to help households than the government's tax relief.
The Albanese government's driven up interest rates on 12 occasions. Everything's costing more and people are really struggling, but we'll give you 70 cents a day in 15 months' time. It just doesn't make any sense. So we've committed to the support being provided now, and that will make a difference in people's budgets straight away.
The Australian Education Union urging the opposition to support upholding public school funding agreements if elected. Labor moving to lift the Commonwealth share of school funding to 25% of the schooling resource standard. AEU Federal President Karina Haythorpe saying bipartisan support is crucial.
A bipartisan commitment to full funding means that every child will be able to go to a school that has the funding that they need to cater for that child's needs. For over a decade now, our schools have been denied this funding.
3 people have been arrested at Manopara this morning stealing copper. Sergeant Peter Williams says they were spotted acting suspiciously near an electrical pit on Coventry Road.
Police quickly got on scene and found the trio sitting nearby in a station wagon with the copper cabling piled beside their vehicle. So the trio, a 43-year-old man, a 35-year-old woman and a 43-year-old woman, were all arrested. They've been charged with theft, property damage and breaching bail.
The US Defence Secretary has again claimed nobody was texting war plans in a group chat where a journalist was included. The actual messages between Peter Hegseth and other Trump administration officials about strikes on Houthi rebels have now been released. Hegseth says nothing classified was discussed.
Nobody's texting war plans. Well, I noticed this morning out came something that doesn't look like war plans. And as a matter of fact, they even changed the title to attack plans because they know it's not war plans.
A terrified woman in Victoria called 000 overnight after hearing what appeared to be a burglary in progress, but it turned out to be something a little cuter. Senior Constable Brittany Darvell saying police expected to bust a crook in the act, but instead found a koala had opened the home's back door.
We went through the house and had a look through, and as we got to her back porch, I had a look down and saw something fluffy in a dog bed, and sure enough, it was a koala, and the koala was our main suspect and was deemed to be acting alone.
Turning to 5AA Sport.
Colours, custom design, any house, any style. Gliderol Garage Doors. Gliderol.com.au.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Maddie. Some football first, and it's a big night for the Cochrane family, with Tom set to make his debut after being named to play against Essendon at Marvel Stadium tonight. Now, Tom is 19 years of age and is the first player to play in the league who suffers from Tourette's. He's the son of Stuart, who played 104 AFL games with North Melbourne and the Power. And you can, of course, hear all of the action from tonight's game right here on 5AA. Let's go to cricket. South Australian paceman Brendan Doggett has praised the work of counterpart Callum Vidler after he got Queensland back into the Shield final on day 1 at Karen Rolton Oval. Doggett was superb with the ball, taking 6 for 31 for the home side to dismiss the Bulls for only 95. But SA didn't have things their own way as they finished the day at 6 for 158. 19-year-old Vidler taking 4 wickets with some express bowling. And Doggett says he looks like an exciting prospect.
He looks good. He's
He's fast, he's wiry and aggressive. I don't want to face him, but no, he's looking really good. Queensland's got a winner there, I think, in him for sure.
Let's go to tennis. World number 2, Iga Swiatek, has been stunned with one of the upsets of the year. Craig Gabriel reports from the Miami Open.
It certainly is a turn-up for the books. Iga Swiatek was highly favoured to reach the Miami Open semis, a tournament she's won before. Those thoughts were crushed by a 19-year-old Filipino wildcard, Alexandra Ayala, who beat Swiatek 6-2, 7-5. Ayala was stunned and near tears with her performance and comes on the heels of her also beating Australian Open champion Madison Keys.
And Maddie, that is the FIVEAA sport.
Thank you, Tom. Let's have a look at the roads around Adelaide this morning.
These are physiotherapy, rehabilitation and strength training. Build strength with precision at Keys and Norwood.
Morning there at Wingfield. A breakdown on the north-south motorway to Cormac Road, causing some pretty solid delays at the moment. It's also got another breakdown to look out for. This one's at Leeward Gardens on the freeway up track. She's down at one lane, speeds at 40, so she's also pretty slow. And a smash at McGill to look out for. St Bernard's Road near Shakespeare Avenue. Busy South Road at Anzac Highway with a camera today, McGill Road at McGill. Need a coffee? Order your barista made hot or iced coffee on the OTR app, and every fifth one is free. OTR. Making life easy. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
5AA's forecast.
Switch and save on service and repairs. Call 1300 Automasters.
And the sun remains out in Adelaide today, heading for 32, 33 tomorrow, 29 Saturday, partly cloudy though on Sunday, 25. Right now 17, 5AA, always Adelaide.
For those whose pool is the main feature of their yard, Walco offer a special mesh cover to keep debris and leaves out while making your pool area look stunning all through winter. Join the great cover-up and ask Walco about their stylish new mesh pool covers. Walco.com.au.
In the market for a new MG? Speak to Ben at Adelaide Hills MG in Bridgewater first. Ben and his team simply won't be beaten on price and service. At Adelaide Hills MG, we make it easy to purchase your new MG with great finance deals and cars in stock ready to go. Remember, don't sign anything until you've put Adelaide Hills MG to the test. Get good old country service at amazing city prices. That's the Adelaide Hills MG difference.
If you're looking for friendly, reliable and high-quality printing, then think Tag Printing. From printing and copying to scanning, Tag Printing handles it all with precision and speed.
If you have big plans to print, Tag Printing specialise in fast, high-quality plan printing, perfect for architects, builders, engineers and designers. Plus, most jobs are completed the same day.
Wonder if they do election posters. And because it's important to keep your prints protected and looking professional, Tag Printing offer laminating and mounting services. So be it for business, students or personal projects, Tag Printing should be your go-to. You'll find them at 134 Glen Osmond Road, Parkside, just 5 minutes from town, or jump online and take a look at everything they do at tagprinting.com.au.
The Hyundai Keys to Summer event ends soon. Unlock offers now. Visit Hyundai.com.au.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
Right on 21 minutes to 8. The Prime Minister of Australia joins us on 5AA Breakfast. Prime Minister, good morning to you.
Good morning. Good to be with you.
Thanks for joining us, PM. We had an absolutely chock-a-block board yesterday of calls and texts off the back of the budget that you announced on Tuesday. It's fair to say our listeners were overwhelmingly underwhelmed by the prospect of a $5 a week tax cut.
Well, this is a top-up of the tax cuts that began this year. It'll deliver around about $2,500 for average Australians once it's fully in place. And now what we know from this morning is that Peter Dutton and the Coalition want to repeal our tax cuts, want to take $2,500 off people at the same time as they want to cut everything else, cut Medicare, cut education, cut everything else to pay for their $600 billion nuclear plan. This is just one element of our cost of living support, along with cheaper medicines, cheaper childcare, the policies we've put in place, including free TAFE, which last night was made permanent in the Senate through legislation.
But the really big,
triple the bulk billing incentive on Medicare.
But the really big hits on people's hip pocket. There's none bigger than power. We've seen AEMO talking about a 9% increase, which is going to swallow up whatever other cost of living measures you've specifically brought in for power. The cost of private health insurance has soared yet again. and the cost of general home insurance has gone up. Whatever the total amount of the tax savings you've outlined are, no one seems to be buying it.
Well, what we've done, David, as you know, is have cost of living measures from the time that we have come to government, whilst putting downward pressure on inflation. And inflation fell again yesterday. It had a 6 in front and was rising. Now it's got a 2 in front and it's falling. Interest rates were rising when we came to office. Now they are falling. Wages were going backwards when we came to office. Now they are rising. Taxes have been decreased, and we intervened, of course, to make sure that every Australian got a tax cut. What the challenge for the opposition is tonight is to actually outline what is their actual plan to assist people on cost of living beyond what they've leaked to the papers, which is basically the leftovers of the Morrison government have come up with another Morrison plan, something that only lasts for a year and then disappears at the same time as they're taking away these tax cuts.
Should we read into that then that you do not support the fuel excise and won't be copying the fuel excise idea that Peter Dutton is going to be unveiling tonight in his budget reply?
Well, the copying that has occurred is the copying that's been done by Peter Dutton, who seems to copy policies either from the United States when it comes to the Americanisation of the health system, a user pay system, which is what he's always wanted and what he'll move to, and the copying of this Morrison government policy that only lasts for 12 months.
So on that basis, should we presume you don't support it? You wouldn't be doing it as PM if you would again?
Just like, well, we have put our policies in the budget on Tuesday night. What we want is permanent changes, and that is why changing the tax rates, particularly that lower tax rate, so it applies for all taxpayers, is what we are not just putting forward, but what we've legislated last night, and what the coalition have said after voting against it, have said that they will repeal and rip out $2,500 from people's pay packets if they are elected to office.
Prime Minister, Treasury estimates contained within the budget papers say we can expect somewhere in the order of 1.8 million people to come to Australia through 2029. Why is it a good idea to bring in effectively another South Australia into the country in the midst of a housing crisis?
Well, of course, what all the estimates show is that the migration numbers were anticipated to be much higher in 2019.
They were estimated to be much lower this last year, and they were exceeded by 75,000.
And they are being lowered. Peter Dutton voted against. One of the things that we can do in terms of the net overseas migration is to put a control on student numbers. We introduced legislation to do that. And, of course, Peter Dutton voted against it.
Yeah, sure, but 1.8 million's your number. Why is it good policy? Because I can tell you, we get texts every day saying people don't understand the population plan in Australia. They can't get into housing. South Australia's the tightest rental market in the nation. Explain to those people why your number, 1.8 million, is good policy.
It is less than was anticipated to be there in 2019. That's the first point. The highest number of visas issued, first and second on the podium, is Peter Dutton wins gold and silver.
Can we just try to talk more about you?
Been introduced.
Sorry, PM. Can we talk about you, not Peter Dutton, over and over and over?
If you give me a chance, I will do so. The fact is that we also need skilled workers in this country. We do need students provide our second largest export. So it's important that the right students are able to enter Australia because that produces income for us. And it's not surprising, in spite of the fact that we have a scare campaign, that after our borders were closed for so long, then people came to Australia, including Australians. Remember this. Australian citizens were locked out of Australia during COVID, locked out, couldn't return home. people who were Australian citizens, people who were born here, people who'd lived here their whole lives.
They're home now. We're talking about numbers over the next 4 years.
So you had a spike. What we are doing is making sure, in terms of permanent migration, the size of next year's permanent migration program will be no more than 185,000.
So I want to drill down on this. So the 1.8 million over the next 4 years, to house those people, according to the ABS average of 2.5 people a house, is 725,000 new houses. You've promised to build 1.2 million houses in this term. How many have you built thus far?
Look, what we are building is building homes through social housing.
How many?
We're building homes through. Well, I don't know if you've ever built a home, but what you do is you get the funding, you start the construction, and you build it, and projects are underway right around the country. Including
how many projects are underway?
There are numerous programs underway in every state.
Are we talking like 10,000, 100,000?
Peter Mellon, there are thousands of homes underway. Peter Malinowskis, as well, has made recent announcements about housing in South Australia. We're working with state and territory governments to make sure that we can deliver more homes. South Australia, as you would be aware, I remember being on this program. I've been around a while with people saying that there weren't enough people staying in South Australia. South Australia is growing, in part because of the fantastic efforts of Premier Malinowskis. We'll continue to work with him to make sure that housing is delivered, whether it be public housing, whether it be private rentals with our build-to-rent scheme, and the incentives are there, which are anticipated by the Property Council to be able to deliver around about 200,000 additional private rental dwellings as a result of that policy. Our Help to Buy scheme will deliver 40,000 additional people into home ownership. We have a comprehensive plan. We have an incentive which is there for states and territories as well to change their planning laws to make sure that we can get, where it's appropriate, higher densities, particularly close to transport corridors and close to infrastructure.
Next week's potentially a huge week for Australian exporters. The US President's called it Liberation Day, April 2nd, when he's going to announce reciprocal tariffs and tariffs on other countries. Have you received any indication that we are either going to be included or excluded from the announcements on that day?
We are certainly engaged very closely with the US administration, and we remain a party to those constructive discussions. Of course, Australia doesn't have any tariffs on US goods entering Australia under the Free Trade Agreement. And therefore, the idea of reciprocal is very clear, that there shouldn't be tariffs placed on Australian goods because we don't do the reverse, and the United States has a trade surplus with Australia.
What about on the PBS, Prime Minister? Because there's been some dark mutterings coming out of the American pharmaceutical industry about our pharmaceutical benefits scheme. They view that as a distortion of prices. Is that something that you guys are going to actually be prepared to fight Washington over?
Absolutely. We're not negotiating over the PBS. It's a part of who we are. It's a proud Labor legacy introduced by the Curtin and Chipley governments during the 1940s. We're strengthening it. We're reducing the cost of medicines on the PBS in Tuesday night's budget down to $25. That's the price they were in 2004 as part of our cost of living measures.
And just finally, PM, any trips to Yarralumla tomorrow?
Oh, look, we'll wait and see. At some stage, I will call the election, if only to stop being asked about it.
We have a very important local football game on Saturday, May the 10th. Adelaide play Port Adelaide in the annual derby. We wouldn't want to wreck that. We'll do it a week before on the 3rd, surely.
When is it? May 10th?
It's May the 10th.
The showdown.
The showdown.
Oh, the showdown. And you're a Crows man, aren't you?
Very much so, yes. But we've got a lot of good Port listeners. We had one of them on the program yesterday, Mark Butler.
Oh, yeah, no, Mark's very passionate, and Mally is extremely passionate.
Oh, he's feral, off the charts.
I do know that Port are playing my team, the Hawks, in the gather round.
Yeah, that's going to be a big grudge match, that one. Even bigger than the looming federal election whenever it is. We'll let you get back to running the country.
Even more important, you reckon?
Absolutely.
I don't know about that. I think it's important, but we're 3 for 3, the Hawks. So, you know,
travelling very nicely.
I would like to think that we could be on 100% after 3 weeks of the election campaign, but we'll see how we go.
No worries. We'll catch up again soon. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, thanks for joining us this morning on 5AA.
All right, we're happy to take your comments, folks. Lots coming through on the Police Home Care text line. You can call us as well, 8223 0000. We're going to take a break.
Lots, indeed.
And we are going to get to those next. Traffic first, though. Every office is different. Every client is special. Corporate Clean Property Services. No cut corners, just clean ones.
Thanks, Will. A breakdown to look out for the Wingfield this morning. It's on the north-south motorway near Cormac Road. Crash at Port Adelaide, Commercial Road near Birkenhead Bridge. And cleaning up another smash at McGill this morning. St Bernard's Road near Shakespeare Avenue. Plimpton sewer replacement works continuing Marion Road near Pembroke Avenue. That is always slow. And got Canberra Smart Road, Modbury and Trimmer Parade at Seaton. This is your invitation to the Audi Open House Sale event. Offers available across a wide range of Audi models to March 31 at your preferred Audi dealer. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
For 50 years, Sterling Homes has set the standard. As we mark our 50th anniversary, we invite you to share your dream with us. To celebrate, we're giving you $15,000 in luxury upgrades your way at no extra cost. Choose from reverse cycle air conditioning, stone bench tops, solar panels and more. Plus, we're including 2.7 metre high ceilings. It's your home built your way because at Sterling Homes, your home. Find your nearest display home location at sterlinghomes.com.au. T's and C's apply.
OTR coffee combos are now in store, making your life easy at $6 for a quality barista-made regular coffee and a delicious buttery croissant, just how you like it. Only at OTR. Making life easy. T's and C's apply.
Hi, Sarah Wren here, Market Lead at 5AA. 2025 will mark my first year participating in the annual Vinnie's CEO Sleep Out. On June 19, SA business and community leaders will gather at Adelaide Zoo for one night to raise funds and awareness for people who sleep rough every night. If you're a business or community leader, help break the cycle of homelessness by signing up at ceosleepout.org.au.
Recently, New South Australian donor conception laws have commenced. In South Australia, we now have a central and secure online donor conception register, or DCR.
Now, the DCR holds info about donor conception treatment undertaken in South Australia dating back to the 1970s where available and where it can be verified. If this relates to you, tune into Afternoons with Stacey Lee today for our interactive lounge where SA Health representatives will discuss the new laws and DCR on air while also taking your calls off the air.
Learn about how the DCR balances the rights of people to know their genetic information with the privacy of their parents' donors. Find out more by visiting sahealth.sa.gov.au/donor conception or call into this afternoon's interactive lounge on 8223 0055.
Do you live in the western suburbs from the airport to Noarlunga and want the very best heating and cooling for your home? Then look no further than Mannix and our big air, solar and warehouse sales outlet on the corner of Marion Road and Bray Street, Plimpton. Buy air conditioning units to spare parts direct from our warehouse or get a free quote for a fully installed system designed for your needs. All from the SA name you know and trust.
Hi, Brett Ebbett here for Mawson Lakes Mazda. We've been doing deals on a huge range of 2024 plate Mazdas, and we've just received truckloads more of them, all priced to clear. These drive-away deals on new Mazdas include free 12 months rego, free stamp duty, and accessory packs worth $500. Yep, absolutely free. All exclusive to Mawson Lakes Mazda. No gimmicks, just great deals. Mawson Lakes Mazda, Salisbury Highway, T's and C's apply.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube. The Hyundai Keys to Summer event ends soon. Unlock offers now. Visit Hyundai.com.au.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
5 to 8, Jade Robin's got more from Black Forest, the house fire that's taken place there. We'll get in touch with her very, very shortly. But first, let's get to some of these texts, David, because the Police Home Care text line is melting down.
It certainly is. There are dozens and dozens of texts. It was impossible to read them. They were just coming in real time while the PM was on the line. Now, I've dug out one that is actually, I think, emblematic of the overwhelming, and I can't stress this enough, the overwhelming reaction we had was not just negative, but it was intensely negative to the Prime Minister's interview. Dylan in Seaford, speaking on behalf of the vast majority of the respondents on the text line, says, well, it's great that the PM is out there on a media tour. However, that whole interview was a whole bunch of nothing. He had no data, no answers, nothing. All he wanted to do was sling mud at Dutton. If you think about it in the context of the famous worm that Laurie Oakes pioneered on the Nine Network, the point at which we were getting the most negative texts was the first instance was when it became Dutton. And when I pulled him up and said, well, can we just talk about you and what your government is doing and will do, there were so many texts coming in going, get into him about this. It's like just constant mudslinging and negativity about Dutton. Some people said, given that Dutton's promised to match and better the Medicare funding plan that Labor put forward, that it was actually a lie for Anthony Albanese to be targeting him over health. But the even bigger response was to your questions, Will, about housing and population and the link between the two in the context of the coming immigration data that you crunch so well. People were just saying, this guy, he can't actually answer. And when he said to you, have you ever, you know what it's like, have you ever built a house? I mean, you could have actually said to him, well, okay, since you asked, I've built one house. How many have you built? But that part of the interview was where, I think we were just chatting off air, it was a reminder that world's, like one of the most likeable people to have been in politics, but one of the things he's worst at is actually campaigning.
Well, this is where he came unstuck last time, wasn't it?
The detail.
It was the detail. It was on what's the unemployment rate, what's the interest rate.
You know, the only reason you don't know or don't say how many houses you've built is because the answer is woefully embarrassing.
Correct. That's exactly right.
He would know that. He could get that stat right now.
If it was a good one,
first time he's been asked.
If it was a good one, it'd be everywhere.
Yeah, it'd be on posters.
Keep your feedback coming in, 044808 1395. Let's check in again with Jade Robran quickly before the 8 o'clock news. She's been doing unbelievable coverage at this house fire at Black Forest with some new footage that's come in now on the Facebook and YouTube live stream. Morning again, Jade.
Good morning, guys. Yes, if you do jump onto the live stream, I've been able to go down the driveway of Pamela, who we spoke to earlier. Her house is right next door to this home that did catch on fire at about 4:50 this morning. Now, fireys were called and found that the back laundry, a lean-to of this beautiful old heritage home, had caught on fire. 24 fireys attended and thankfully were able to contain the fire to the rear of the home. But sadly, there is a lot of smoke damage to the rest of the home. Unbelievable story here, though. I've managed to talk to the 85-year-old owner, Pam, who has lived in the home for over 50 years. Guys, she is restrained to a wheelchair and has got limited mobility, and unbelievably, she just was able to get up and get herself out of the home and has been able to survive. Now, her daughter has been taken to hospital. Unknown yet what extent of injuries she has got. She fled and left her mobile phone inside, so she's in the emergency department and they've been unable to contact her. But take a listen to Pam's incredible story of survival from this morning's fire. Pam, your beautiful house, what happened this morning?
Oh, well, we had sort of a few hours ago. Now it was very dark and just had a fire in the laundry, my laundry, and my daughter come running out saying, Mum, we've got to get out of the house. So I'm not in a very good health situation at the moment with walking. For some reason, I walked out without the walker. Then all the action was there. So many fireys that do a fantastic job, and the lovely police were here, and just one of those things.
Do you have any idea how it started?
No, not really. No, because we haven't got any heaters or anything in there. It's a very old house. 1916 it was built.
Oh, Pam.
Yeah, it was the Black Forest Dairy, I understand, at one stage.
And are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'll probably have a cry later on, thinking, well, where's so-and-so? And then you think,
Well, I'm just glad you got out safe, Pam.
Thank you so much for reporting local news.
Oh, gosh, you just look after yourself.
Yes.
Oh, poor Pam. That's
Yeah.
heartbreaking.
Does Pam need anything?
Yeah.
Clothes? Like, what's the go? How do we... We'll talk to Jay.
We'll stay in touch with Pam. We'll see if we can't help her out.
Yeah, poor thing.
Huge thing to go through. Great
She sounded
reporting,
like a salt of the
David.
earth lady,
She
didn't she?
most certainly did. We're going to take a break. 5AA News is coming up. Matt Abraham, you might have noticed we didn't do it at 7:30 because the Prime Minister was on. Well, don't despair. Abraham at 8 is next.
The very latest news and information. This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Sunny 32 today with the 8 o'clock news. Good morning. I'm Matthew Pantelis.
Physio Extra for Locomat robotic technology treating stroke, cerebral palsy, brain and spinal cord injuries. Visit physioextra.com.
The Prime Minister has ruled out matching the opposition's plan to halve the petrol excise for a year. It'll be amongst the announcements Peter Dutton makes in his budget reply speech tonight and will cost $6 billion. But Anthony Albanese telling David and Will it's only a short-term fix.
We have put our policies in the budget. What we want is permanent changes, and that is why changing the tax rates, particularly that lower tax rate, so it applies for all taxpayers, is what we are not just putting forward, but what we've legislated last night.
A cigarette is being blamed for starting a house fire at Black Forest this morning. Prema Osborne from the MFS says they were called to Cowper Road just before 5.
The MFS firefighters were confronted with challenging conditions, with clutter and difficulties in gaining access to the property. Firefighters were able to control the fire within 30 minutes, protecting all surrounding properties. Firefighters are on scene to monitor for hotspots and to ensure complete extinguishment of the fire.
A woman's been taken to hospital with minor burns. A house fire at Ranella last night causing $700,000 damage. Occupants there evacuated safely. The cause unknown. The peak body for retailers says the closure of another brand is a reflection of the challenges the industry is facing. Jeans West has collapsed. 90 stores to close around the country in months, leaving hundreds out of work. Retailers Association Flair Browns telling Today it's the latest example of a business struggling with rising costs and decreased spending.
There's lots of small retailers that have closed a lot more quietly because you don't notice them in the same way as these household name brands. We have lost some darlings as well, some really big icons of Australia.
The latest survey of grocery prices has found the cost at the checkout of two major supermarkets closely match. The average Coles basket will set back shoppers $68, while Woolies items have increased by 3.7% over the last quarter, costing $67. Choice editorial director Mark Sorrell says the retailers are in lockstep with one another.
Some have gone up a little bit, some have gone down a bit, depending on specials and stuff like that. But for the most part, Woolies and Coles are almost inseparable.
The Melbourne International Comedy Festival's opening night ended mid-show after a man died in the audience. Emergency services called to the Palais Theatre at about 9 p.m. The man couldn't be saved. He died at the scene. Police say the death is not being treated as suspicious. The National Broadband Network has revealed the highest internet download rates across the country. Queensland topping the list, the average user downloading 7% more compared to other states. NBN's Jane McNamara says these numbers are expected to rise over the coming years.
For the third year running, Queensland has maintained its ranking as the number one data-hungry state, closely followed by New South Wales and Western Australia.
Up to 4 F-35 Lightning jets will conduct navigation exercises south of Adelaide this morning. The squadron practising training scenarios, including the exercises and tactical missions for junior aircrew. The aircraft don't plan to land at RAAF base Edinburgh today. Now checking 5AA Sport.
Gliderol Garage Doors, adding strength, style and safety to your home. Gliderol.com.au.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Matthew. Port Adelaide will be hoping to make it back-to-back wins when it takes on Essendon tonight at Marvel Stadium. The Power will blood a third debutant in 3 weeks when Tom Cochrane takes to the field, while the Bombers have a debutant of their own with Saad El Hawali set to play. The Crows, meantime, don't play until Sunday and will name a squad this afternoon ahead of their match against North Melbourne. Adelaide is looking to make it 3 straight wins to start the season, and ruckman Riley O'Brien has told Rowie and Timmy G new assistant coach Murray Davis has made a big impact since arriving.
He's come in and sort of overseen everything and just given some good perspective for the coaches coming from Brisbane, obviously a really successful program, and he's probably just brought some experience and some confidence coming over to sort of reassure the coaches they're doing, the right thing and tinkered a couple of little things, especially in our sort of game modes and our scenario stuff, and he's been awesome.
Let's go to cricket. South Australia will be hoping for plenty of runs early on day 2 of the Shield final against Queensland at Karen Rolton Oval. The home side will resume at 6 for 158 with Jake Lehmann and Ben Menenti at the crease. SA already in front by 63 runs in the first innings. Meantime, Australia has clean swept its women's T20 series in New Zealand with an 8-run win in Wellington. Megan Shute has become the first woman to take 150 wickets in international T20s. And Matilda's defender, Ellie Carpenter, is into the Champions League semi-finals with Lyon after a 4-1 win over Bayern Munich. Caitlin Ford is in action with Arsenal against Real Madrid. And that's the 5AA Sport.
5AA's traffic.
Keys of physiotherapy, rehabilitation and strength training. Build strength with precision at Keys and Norwood.
Morning there. Got a breakdown still causing you headaches this morning. This one's at Wingfield on the north-south motorway near Cormac Road. Pretty solid delays through there. A smash to look out for at Port Adelaide, Commercial Road near the Birkenhead Bridge. Another smash getting cleaned up at McGill. St Bernard's right near Shakespeare Avenue. Busy Bay North Road, Enfield with a camera. Henley Beach Road, Henley Beach South. Why pay on-road costs for a car that wants to go off-road? The Volkswagen Amarok Style V6. Get all your on-road costs for free. Test drive today. Offer ends March 31. Conditions and fees apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
5AA's forecast.
Switch and save on service and repairs. Call 1300 Automasters.
Staying sunny, 32 today, 33 tomorrow, 29 Saturday, partly cloudy Sunday, 25. Right now, 17. 5AA, always Adelaide.
With Bridgestone Tech Check, our technicians send you a 60-second video inspection that shows you what needs repairing now and what can wait, so you can go with confidence. Bridgestone Select Tyre and Auto.
Hi, Daniel Tarley here, General Manager of Home. That's HAUME. Sometimes renovating an older home built before the 90s is just not worth the hassle, time or the cost. Instead, we buy your home as it is and give you as much time as you need to find your new dream home. We don't charge fees, there's no advertising costs or commissions. We just make the process of selling your home easy. Look out for a letter from us in your mailbox or visit home.com.au. That's haume.com.au.
Formula Honda's huge finance offer is on now. Just listen to these numbers. You'll get 3.88 interest rate and 5.22 comparison rate across the entire range of Hondas. Don't wait. Hurry into Formula Honda at Glen Osmond Road, Glen Osmond or North East Road, Modbury to find your perfect Honda. From the award-winning CR-V to the sporty Civic, visit Formula Honda today to find your perfect Honda. Hurry, offer ends February 28. T's and C's apply.
Simplicity Funerals make funeral planning the way it should be. Simple. With our easy and straightforward packages, it has never been simpler to organise a respectful funeral. Visit simplicityfunerals.com.au or call us 24/7 to get started today.
Build a roof over your decking, a roof over your car. Alpha Industries are the best by far. A roof over your Barbie, a roof over your beers. Alpha Industries last for donkey's years. A roof over your swimming pool, a roof over your boat. Alpha Industries, ask us for a quote. Build a roof over your grandma or anything you please. Verandas, sheds and carports, Alpha Industries.
Come on in.
We open our doors to people we trust and care about. And for over 90 years, South Australians have been opening their doors to Rest Haven. In turn, we've been opening doors to an easier, better life at home. From personal care to help with the shopping and social outings, you'll welcome the care that Rest Haven brings.
Stay informed, get involved. 5AA, always Adelaide.
The Hyundai Keys to Summer event ends soon. Unlock offers now. Visit Hyundai.com.au.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
We heard the howls of concern across Adelaide when we announced that the Prime Minister was coming on at 7:30. What about Matt?
Yeah, it's text.
Where's the spin of the week? Well, don't worry. We have a contingency for days like this. It's called Abraham at 8.
I was, I'm bugging. This is Democracy Manifest. You're eating the dogs.
I tell you what, any boss who sacks anyone for not turning up today is a bum.
Matt's.
Matthew Abraham live at the 5AA Breakfast studio on this Thursday morning. Matt, good morning to you.
Good morning, Will. Good morning, David.
A lot to digest there.
Oh, yeah, no. They're eating the dogs, it's got to be.
They're eating the cats.
They're eating the pets. All-time spin.
Yeah, so I was a bit suspicious when Lucy said, can you record yourself saying Matt and email it to me last night? I'm there, okay, whatever.
No. Well, that was the first time I've ever heard a Matt Abraham, Kylie Minogue duet.
Yes, there we go.
Not the last.
If only I
Nick
could
Cave move aside.
Not the last.
No, it's a bit controversial actually being bumped by the Prime Minister, which is totally understandable, but it means I have to pay for parking. So $5.
Oh, no.
$5.30, which means after the tax cut in July next year, I'll be 30 cents behind.
That's right. Don't say, I never did anything for you. We should welcome back all the listeners who texted us before 7:30 saying I'm not going to be listening until after 8 o'clock because they knew that Albo was coming on. We got heaps of texts saying that. Heaps.
Yes, Pirate Pete said, I'm turning back on at 8 because otherwise I'll throw things at the television. So obviously you listen to radio on the television down there in Encounter Bay.
He does take dodging the question to a new level, the Prime Minister, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He does. I noticed Sam Maiden sort of drew a parallel today between Muhammad Ali and the Frazier fight, I think, in rope-a-dope, where you just George Foreman, where you lean on your opponent and wear them out. Because last night I was thinking, and Anthony Albanese did this running up to the election he won by one seat, I think, initially. And that is, you're sort of behind all the way, you're just sort of stumbling through it, you're just sort of getting there, and then you just get over the line. And then you're in government, and you spend the best part of 3.5 years burning political capital that you haven't got, which you did with The Voice to start with, and then finally catching on that cost of living is sort of the main issue dominating people's lives. And you waste all this political capital, you get behind Dutton and the Liberal Party or the Coalition in News poll, and then about 2 weeks out from an election, you slowly nudge ahead on News poll because they're now level or maybe 51-49, so it's just a little bit in it. His stakes come up, and you think it's just like somebody going in slow motion all the time and just slowly sort of falling, like someone running a marathon and they're stumbling and then they just fall across a line with all their mates carrying them, and that's a very tortured way of saying that's sort of how Anthony Albanese sort of is. He's not like a Hawke or a Keating, who had a lot of momentum, always had momentum, or Malinowskis, who's got momentum. They're leaders who, they hit the ground running. They get there running and they just keep running. They don't stop because they know that when you're in government, it's fantastic. You actually get to do stuff. If you're smart, you can change the country. You can do whatever.
Do you think, Matt, that might explain in part why he was so keen to shift the conversation with us just now onto Dutton? Because the difficulties he had addressing the questions that Will was asking about their own record on housing construction with, almost 2 million people rocking up next year and no houses for them to live in. Going so hard and so personal and so negative against Dutton, on the one hand, people might say, well, that's all he's got. That's all he's got. So they're really going to labour that point. But do you think there's still a chance that can work, though, as a tactic for them, the Dutton scare campaign?
I think less so. I think less so because I think originally that would have worked. I think Dutton has sort of started to mould his own narrative. you know, a little bit more about his family, about his background. He's given the long interviews with magazines and so on. And it's, you know, you're playing to your own constituency. So you're playing to your rusted-ons when you're bagging Dutton, because they hate Dutton. But they hated Tony Abbott. And Tony Abbott got up as Prime Minister. So I think if that's your strategy, it's a dangerous strategy. And we see Dutton, he's matched them sort of policy for policy. He hasn't just sat back and said, well, we're not going to do that, you know. He's matched them policy for policy on Medicare, on everything else. And, OK, he's not matching them on the tax cuts, but they're going to be legislated anyway. So people are going to say, well, it doesn't matter, we're going to get them anyway. Doesn't matter who we vote for. I mean, I wouldn't be legislating the tax cuts now because to say, well, elect us and you'll get a tax break. Well, we're going to give you the tax break. You're going to elect us if you want to, but you're going to get the money in your pocket. And is Dutton going to repeal it? Well, good luck with that. Like, that ain't going to happen. And so he'll let that roll through, Dutton, and then he comes out with his petrol cut 25 cents a litre, or 25 cents a litre off the halving the excise for a year.
What's the logic, though, in just doing it for 1 year?
It's expensive. $6 billion.
But what happens after that? I mean, what's the enduring policy benefit from all of this?
Well, there's no enduring policy.
It's a set of steak knives, isn't it?
There's no enduring policy benefit at all. I mean, if you were going to do it properly, you'd actually index it so that it rises with inflation or whatever, and people get a permanent benefit from the excise. Same as what they should do, same as they should do on booze and all that sort of stuff. No, there's no policy imperative. It's called winning an election, and then you worry about it later. So what they have to worry about later is let's say Dutton gets elected and there's a coalition government. In a year's time, if he doesn't continue that excise cut, he'll be a Prime Minister putting up a 25 cent increase a litre in petrol prices.
Yeah. Now you'll probably get Angus Taylor to do that press conference.
That's right. Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, we're at this weird stage of this election. Well, we're not in an election campaign, but we are. Both parties are throwing money that they don't have, which Australia doesn't have, at voters to get elected.
We might check some traffic, take a break, come back. Want to get your thoughts on the debate 1 year out from the state election that took place last Friday in a moment, Matt.
You were there.
You're a keen observer.
I was representing FIVEAA.
Yeah.
I couldn't go. I was at a Sturt Football Club fundraiser.
We'll get your thoughts on that in just a moment, and we'll also rate some spin.
You made the right call.
I'd have a great time.
Let's check traffic. Every office is different. Every client is special. Corporate Clean Property Services. No cut corners, just clean ones.
Thanks, Will, at Wingfield. Residual delays clearing from an earlier breakdown on the north-south motorway near Cormac Road. Port Adelaide, a crash still getting cleaned up. Commercial Road near the Birkenhead Bridge. And no longer centre breakdown on the Southern Expressway exit at Beach Road affecting outbound. Slow for works, Glenelg East, Brighton Road near Dunbar Terrace with a camera Grange Road at Grange. Bob Jane T-Marts won't be beaten with their best tyre price guarantee. When you're after great service and unbeatable value, head to the Tyre and Wool specialists. Bob Jane T-Marts, they'll look after you. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA Sports Show. Rowie and Timmy G.
Lockie Jones out, Ryan Burton's out, Jack Lukosius is out.
Bombers are reeling after being belted from pillar to post, are they not? Their captain said it was their worst performance in his time as a Bomber, so expect and plan for a response. I think if Port Adelaide can suck it up early, there'll be no surprises.
The 5AA Sports Show.
Their best is just simply better. This is about attitude and getting the job done.
Yeah. Weekdays from 4 p.m. on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Mario Maiola Promotions and 5AA present Blowin' in the Wind. Honouring Rock and Roll Hall of Famers Bob Dylan with friends Johnny Cash, Joan Baez and the Travelling Wilburys. Come celebrate the legends who contributed to cultural change through inspired lyrics and songs of revolution with an amazing cast. The times they're a-changing, folks, so don't think twice because it's all right. Blowin' in the Wind, Her Majesty's Theatre, Friday 23rd of May. Book now at Ticketek.
We know you are concerned about SA's public hospital capacity and how long it can take to see a doctor. So are we. We need enough doctors to provide the safe, quality care you deserve. There are solutions for South Australia and it's not rocket science. Visit safermedicalstaffing.com.au and sign the petition to support our 3-point plan for enough doctors for South Australia. Authorised by Dr David Pope, South Australian Salaried Medical Officers Association, Adelaide.
For 50 years, Sterling Homes has set the standard. It's a long time in business, so to celebrate their 50th anniversary, they're inviting you to share your dream with them.
That's right. With Sterling Homes, you get $15,000 worth of luxury upgrades your way at no extra cost. Choose what matters to you. Could be reverse cycle air conditioning, stone bench tops, solar panels and more, plus 2.7 metre high ceilings are included.
Sterling Homes listens to your must-haves, it considers your nice-to-haves and works with you to create your ideal home. Because at Sterling Homes, your home. Visit their display homes across Adelaide. For locations, go to sterlinghomes.com.au. T's and C's apply.
Streets are getting a little crazy. Look here. Look, shorty got back. Should I ask her for a dance? Hold on, there's too many in the wolf pack.
Introducing the all-electric 7-seat Kia EV9 with premium relaxation seats, remote smart park assist, and up to 505 kilometres of range. The Kia EV9. Visit kia.com.au to find out more.
Kia, movement that inspires.
Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
The Hyundai Keys to Summer event ends soon. Unlock offers now. Visit Hyundai.com.au.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
21 after 8, listeners might recall Bok, the rare snake that was stolen from a pet store down south, was mysteriously returned yesterday by someone in a disguise that left a mysterious note. We'll be speaking with the pet store owner we spoke to, Carmen, the other day.
Well, we asked Carmen if the person's listening, would you be happy for them to bring the snake back?
Well,
no questions asked.
They may have been listening.
I want to hear more about the disguise.
Yeah.
Was it a gorilla suit? Or?
No. Remember not the 9 o'clock news?
Yes.
Remember the interview that Mel Smith did with the gorilla?
Yeah.
I'm not sure that's quite right. So good.
Yes.
You were at the debate last week.
I was. I was at the, was it the Hotel Grand Chancellor in Hindley Street? And, well, it won't affect the outcome of the next election. That's the first point. There will be another debate before the next election, I assume during the campaign, but it won't affect the outcome of the election. I gave the debate to Vincent Tarzia.
Really?
Yeah, as a debate. I thought he was a lot more natural. Peter Malinauskas looked to me a bit over-prepped. And he even said to me beforehand, he showed me his folder of notes with about 4,000 sticky things in there. You got to be a bit careful you don't over-prep. I think he did a little bit, actually. And he got into it sort of about 10 minutes in. He sort of got into his stride. But I thought he was a bit wooden at the start. And might have been thrown a bit because Tarzia was fairly aggressive at the start, kept referring to him, this guy over here, this guy, as opposed to the Premier or, Peter or whatever. I know the wisdom is that because everyone thinks he's hopeless, just putting in a credible performance is, was maybe a relief for those who like to see some sort of political balance. Opposition making a go of it. I thought he won the debate. I'm possibly the only journalist in Adelaide who thinks that, but there you go.
It was interesting. A good point was made. I can't recall who made it on the show earlier this week, but it was Stacey Lee. Stacey on Monday made the good point because there was polling done afterwards. Channel 7 did the polling, the Advertiser did some polling, but the questions weren't so much who won the debate as who following the debate, who's the preferred Premier, or who will you be voting for? And they were obviously tilted heavily in favour of Peter Malinauskas. But I think some people think that 85-15 figure, for example, on 7 was people voting on who won the debate. Well, it was having watched the debate, who would you rather be Premier?
Yeah.
Now, he might have won it, but not shifted anyone into the camp of actually wanting him to be the Premier.
No, I know. That's an issue. I'm saying this as a debate. I thought he won the debate.
It's a reasonable point.
But he's not winning much else, I would have thought. And I thought he got, and I will come to one of these grabs shortly when I rate the no longer mighty Mitre 10, or whatever they are. Which is quite a relief because I can now admit I do go to Bunnings.
Oh, yeah. I'm there all the time.
But anyway.
I do go to Mitre 10 a lot too.
Yeah, of course.
Well, I tell you what, the Mitre 10 people, they should have a word to the people who run the one at Aldinga. Must be the only massive hardware store in Australia that refuses to open at all on the weekend.
Oh, really?
I speak on behalf of everyone in Aldinga.
Why would you want to go to a hardware store on the weekend?
Oh, yeah, I know.
I mean, you wouldn't, would you?
Yeah, no.
Especially if you've got a shack.
3 p.m. Monday makes a hell of a lot more sense, doesn't it?
Should we rate some spin?
Yes, let's do that.
I was, I'm bugging. This is Democracy Manifest.
You're eating the dogs. I tell you what, any boss who sacks anyone for not turning up today is a bum.
Matt. All right. Now, this is the point where I thought Vincent Tasia won the debate, because I reckon this was a great little sledge and it left the Premier pretty well flat-footed.
And in terms of these, pie in the sky, things down the road, I mean, give me a break. He'll be in Canberra by the time they come around anyway, so...
Oh, okay. We might get to that a bit later too, but Premier, he wants a break, we'll give you a break. Do you want to respond to that?
Look, water's a really important subject.
Yes, let's talk about water.
Yeah.
Oh, Lake Burley Griffin? No, not that water. The Torrens.
That was a good line by Tarzan.
Was a good line.
It was a good line, and it's quite telling. Maybe it was wise, but it's quite telling that the Premier didn't respond to that at all. So, look, I'm still giving him just a middling 6 out of 10. Matt.
6 out of 10 on the Matt spinning around scale. Now, got some more audio.
Yes. Now, my great refuge is being out of my boat, because I think there's no politicians out here. I can just totally switch off until I saw Channel 7's Catch of the Day, Ned McHenry's little session with the Premier out at sea.
Oh!
I was very lucky today to be fishing with our fantastic Premier, Peter Malinauskas. We're off Glenelg. We've got some southern calamari. How we go?
Bloody magnificent, Ned, I've got to say. In a pretty quick time, we've got quite a few calamari, so bit of dinner tonight, all sorted, mate.
Okay. There's a few things if you watch that video. Just 2 things. First of all, who wears a bright white polo top to go fishing for squid? No one. And who, after catching apparently a bag limit of squid, has not a single dot of squid ink on their bright white top? I smell a rat.
With poor old Ned covered in ink.
He looked like one of those black and white minstrels.
I think Nick Harmson went out there with a bag of squid beforehand.
Yeah. There's some former ABC journal totally covered in ink. That's why.
I've just got a text. National Security. Apparently, I've been included on national security text line.
That's good. Who are we bombing?
How many squid did they get? Oh, I don't know. They're holding them out. 6 out of 10 on the squid rating. Yeah, Matt.
6 out of 10, 5 out of 10.
What is the squid bag limit?
A lot.
Yeah, I would have thought you could catch a whole stack of squid.
And I have a limit of about 2 squid, because beyond that, you've got about 4 hours cleaning.
Yeah, and squid are pretty easy to clean.
No,
you got to do that hard.
I can do that. I can do that blindfolded.
What with the?
I don't like it when they're alive though, because they attack you with that. They've got those 2 long, suckery sort of tentacles that are longer than the ones they use for their propulsion.
You don't want to gut them when they're alive.
Well, no. Often, no. Well, it's not inhumane. That's why I just.
You wouldn't do that.
There's a place for this stuff, and it's called Samtas.
No, you.
Hey, can I just give a shout out?
Squeeze them behind the neck and they'll be all right. That kills them.
The lost and beautiful, lovely. The sort of Happy Days style mom and pop corner hardware store. There's a wonderful one in Aldinga Timber and Hardware. They're open 8 till 1 on Saturdays.
So you're going to
give them a shout out today.
Good stuff. You get a bit of a discount there too.
Yeah, hopefully.
I hope.
Matt, great to have you in for Abraham and 8.
Beautiful, thank you.
Good on you, Matt.
5AA News is on the way. We're going to be chatting with the owner of the Noarlunga Pet Store that received a strange visit yesterday. Someone returned a infamous missing snake. We'll be chatting with them next. Also, Jade Robran with more on that house fire at Black Forest.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Sunny and 32 today with the 8:30 news. I'm Matthew Pantelis.
Physio Extra offers Locomat and Armio robotic technology services at their Marion and Eastwood clinics. physioextra.com.
The opposition leader Peter Dutton will use his budget reply speech tonight to unveil plans to halve the fuel excise for 12 months. It'll bring down prices by about 25 cents a litre if the Liberals are elected at the upcoming federal poll. But the Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, telling David and Will it's just a recycled short-term policy.
What the challenge for the opposition is tonight is to actually outline what is their actual plan to assist people on cost of living beyond, which is basically the leftovers of the Morrison government have come up with another Morrison plan, something that only lasts for a year and then disappears.
2 overnight house fires are under investigation. Residents self-evacuated at Ranella after a blaze took hold there at 6 p.m, destroying a house. The damage bill estimated at over $700,000. Then at 4 a.m, fire broke out in a Black Forest home. Pam, who's 85, lives there with her daughter. Neighbours telling 5AA a cigarette sparked the blaze. Pam says her daughter raised the alarm.
My daughter come running out saying, "Mum, we've got to get out of the house." So I'm not in a very good health situation at the moment with walking. For some reason, I walked out without the walker. Then all the action was there. So many fireys that do a fantastic job.
Winter is fast approaching and the Australian Medical Association urging everyone to get their flu shot. The AMA's president, Dr Danielle McMullen, says it's been a bad season in the Northern Hemisphere with thousands of deaths already.
All Australians over 6 months old should get a flu vaccine every year. The formulation gets updated every year to match what's floating around in the community, and the protection from your flu vax only lasts a season. So now is the time to get vaccinated for your best protection ahead of this winter.
And year to date in South Australia, there have been 2,324 flu cases. A year ago, 1,634. The majority of regular poker machine gamblers are experiencing harm. The Australian Gambling Research Centre, analysing a survey of 2,500 people, finding 87% were at risk. Research fellow Dr Nancy Greer says existing harm reduction measures can be strengthened.
So this includes shutting pokies areas from midnight, further limiting the length of time people can gamble, and lowering the amount that can be loaded into a poker machine at a time.
Households are being urged to check if they're eligible for faster internet through a full fibre upgrade. The National Broadband Network forecasting download rates to double over the next 4 years, which means slower internet. The NBN revealing Queensland continues to be the most data-hungry state, followed by New South Wales and Western Australia. And police in Victoria have been called out to an unexpected job with a koala mistaken for a master criminal. A resident calling 000 after hearing her dog barking and the sounds of someone trying to break in. When officers arrived, instead, they found the mischievous marsupial in the dog's bed by the back door. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Colours, custom design, any house, any style. Gliderol Garage Doors. Gliderol.com.au.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Matthew. Saad El Houli will tonight complete his rise from playing local football with Altona to making his AFL debut for Essendon. The 23-year-old mid-season draftee comes into the Bombers lineup along with Jordan Ridley for the clash against Port Adelaide. Meantime, Tom Cochrane becomes the first person with Tourette syndrome to play AFL football when he debuts for the Power. Still on footy, and West Coast young gun Harley Reid has learnt his fate for raising his middle finger to the Gabba crowd last week. The AFL issued Reid with a $1,000 fine after asking the Eagles to explain his actions. AFL great Matthew Lloyd says it's a fair penalty.
That's okay, I think. The AFL doesn't want to be seeing that. If you let it go through, well, the next player will do it as well. And the crowd was into him, and it's a tough thing to take. He's on the front and back pages of the West Australian every single day, so he's been under enormous pressure, and I think it builds and other crowds can get into him. But he seems like he's playing very distracted.
Let's go to cricket. South Australia will begin day 2 of the Shield final against Queensland with a 63-run lead and 4 wickets in hand at Karen Rolton Oval. SA will start the day at 6 for 158 after dismissing the visitors for just 95 in their first innings. Let's go to tennis. Filipino wildcard Alexandra Ayala has claimed another big scalp on her fairy tale run at the Miami Masters. The world number 140 has beat the second seed Iga Swiatek to reach the semi-finals, her third win over a major title winner. Swiatek says Ayala's aggressive strategy caught her off guard.
Some of these shots were pretty out of nowhere, but still I could see that clearly she has intentions to go forward and to push, so it worked for her today for sure.
Yeah, she's going very nicely. That is the FIVEAA Sport.
Thanks, Freddie. Now checking the roads around Adelaide this morning.
Keyser Physiotherapy, Rehabilitation and Strength Training. Build strength with precision at Keyser Norwood.
Dry Creek, a car and truck smash on the Salisbury Highway to the Wingfield interchange. Big delays inbound through there. Plimpton, sewer replacement works continuing Maureen Road near Pembroke Avenue down to one lane. And west at Glenelg East will account for Brighton Road near Dunbar Terrace. Busy ride now, Tapley's Hill Road, Glenelg North with a Camera Beavich Road at Engle Farm. Don't miss rock legends, ZZ Top Live. The Elevation Tour hits Adelaide April 29. Get your ZZ Top tickets now at livenation.com.au. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
5AA's forecast.
Switch and save on service and repairs. Call 1300 Automasters.
Staying sunny, 32 today, 33 tomorrow, 29 for Saturday, and then partly cloudy Sunday, a top near 25. Right now, 19. 5AA, always Adelaide.
Frankie said she's a fan of impersonation. Thank you very much. But not of people impersonating Australia Post. That's why we've made all delivery updates available on the AusPost app, so she'll know they're from us, and us alone. You ask, we deliver at Australia Post.
Adelaide's local, trusted and truly connected talkback radio station. 5AA, always Adelaide.
Hi, Bronte Manuel from Toop and Toop. Now more than ever, you need an agent who's not just out for a quick sale. You need someone who can stand their ground to ensure you're maximising your home's potential. There's a good reason Toop and Toop is defying market trends and continuing to deliver premium outcomes for its clients. With a history spanning almost 40 years and a team of unrivalled experience, Toop and Toop knows what it takes to maximise your results in any selling conditions. Visit toop.com.au to find out more.
Is your solar system keeping up with your rising power bills? Then upgrade your solar system now with Manic Solar. We can replace your old system with super high efficiency panels and the latest solar inverter technology. Speak to us about battery solutions and eliminate your power bills today. Don't wait. Book a free in-home inspection by calling 1300 Manix or go online anytime at manix.com.au. Solar power from the SA name you know and trust.
So do you have a party or family occasion at your place this Easter? Do you want to impress them?
Good question. Well, there's only one answer for that, and it's going to see the magnificent folks at Chanella's, because they can make that happen with their equally magnificent platters.
And as you know, we have Chanella's provided platters here at 5AA for many of our big events too, and we're always blown away with the choice and rich, full flavours that Chanella's are so famous for.
I reckon there's nothing that gets your juices flowing like one of these Chanella's platters. You just look at them, they're so beautifully assembled, and the stuff they get on them, salami, prosciutto, vegetarian dip platters to arancini balls, pastas, hot seafood platters, fruit platters, vegan-friendly platters, sweets platters, cheese platters, and so much more, all lovingly prepared by the excellent chefs at Chanella's.
So jump onto the website or order in-store today. Chanella's best and fresh. It's a way of life.
We open our doors to people we trust and care about. And for over 90 years, South Australians have been opening their doors to Rest Haven. In turn, we've been opening doors to an easier, better life at home. From personal care to help with the shopping and social outings, you'll welcome the care that Rest Haven brings.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube. The Hyundai Keys to Summer event ends soon. Unlock offers now. Visit Hyundai.com.au.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
20 minutes to 9. You recall earlier in the week we did an interview with Carmen, the store manager at the Port Noarlunga Pet Stock, following the theft of a very rare snake that Well, you could hear in Carmen's voice during that interview that she was distressed about the well-being of the animal, beyond the financial loss involved. We're looking at it now on the Facebook and YouTube live stream. Just the well-being of an animal that they really care about. Well, something really peculiar happened in the days since that interview. The snake was returned. Carmen, the store manager of the Port Noarlunga Pet Stock, joins us now. Carmen, good morning to you.
Good morning.
So how did this all play out, Carmen?
So a lady came in and pretty much put Bok and his enclosure on the bench and said Bok and walked straight out the store, and there was a note left on top of it.
What did the note say, Carmen?
Pretty much that Bok had been well looked after, that he was fed on Sunday and returning him so that we know he's okay and hope that we don't press charges, and that they're very sorry and he was very much loved.
I wonder if, because we only spoke to you about a week ago about this, and remember at the right at the very end of the interview, we said, if you had a message for the person listening, what would it be? And you said, just bring it back, no questions asked.
Yep, and that's exactly what happened. They brought it back from the desk, staff member took it, and then they walked straight out the store. So we are just so relieved and so happy that Bok is back with us.
And is the letter accurate, Carmen? Do you get the sense that Bok was well looked after?
Bok is looking fine. We are quarantining to make sure that Bok is okay, and we'll make sure he feeds and stuff before he becomes available again. But at the moment, Bok looks in pretty good condition, yes.
We just played before on the live stream, Carmen, the CCTV footage, and it was a woman who brought Bok back. She was wearing a sort of sundress, shoulderless sundress type thing and a big straw hat. Do you think she was trying to...
straw hat and sunglasses, yeah.
She was trying to conceal her identity, you reckon?
Potentially.
Yeah.
So does it make you think then, Carmen, that the theft was from, a genuine reptile lover? Like it was someone who wasn't trying to steal Bok to then on-sell. It was someone who actually just really liked snakes?
Honestly, don't know. We don't know whether it's because of all this attention that's been returned or, honestly, it's just a guessing game, but we are just happy that he is okay.
Yeah. What's on the menu for Bok? Does he get a nice big mouse or something?
Next week he'll get a nice big rat.
Delicious.
Oh, that's good news, Carmen.
It's a happy ending.
Delighted to have you on for a happy ending of that story. Thanks for coming on.
Bit of buyer's remorse. Bit of buyer's remorse for the thief.
Crook's remorse.
I don't know. I should have really thought it through when I got that anaconda. I mean, they grow up so fast, is what you say, isn't it? I can remember when old Chompy was a little Venezuelan hatchling. Now he's 14 metres long and I've had to turn the backyard into a swamp. Have you ever seen those anacondas that they pull out of the water in Venezuela?
They look like, it looks like AI.
They are just, what was God thinking the day created them?
We've got so many calls about politics this morning. I want to take a couple of those now. Laurie in Balaclava, good morning.
Good morning, and I was stupid enough to put my hand up for the seat of Grey.
As a candidate?
As a candidate, 970,000 square kilometres. Just a small area.
Who are you running for, Laurie?
I'm running with Trumpeter Patriots.
Ah, excellent.
And when I find it amazing that we continually hear over and over again, two-party preferred, but all we're getting is the same thing over and over again. They swap policies. 70 cents a day? That just turns my engine on in my car. Doesn't even get me a coffee. I'm sorry, but that's nothing for the people. And then a year and a half later, Mr. Dutton, thank you very much. You're going to give us a fuel cut, but only for a short period of time. That'll really help. How about we actually do something long-term? How about we follow Norway's example where they actually make sure they put the money that they get from their oil, being the third largest oil producer in the world, back into the people and back into manufacturing, back into becoming a self-sustaining country? That's what we need to follow. We need to follow what Norway's doing. We need to look at actually getting manufacturing back into Australia. We need Whyalla Steel Mill to actually start producing steel for Australian projects instead of importing steel, second-grade steel, mind you, sometimes even third-grade steel from other countries who've taken our ore and then sell us back their second-grade material.
Isn't that what we're doing, though, like with Whyalla?
Yes, I know that's exactly what we're doing. We shouldn't be... Yeah, but the problem is we haven't. They're talking about it, but we haven't. We haven't done it for 20 years.
I reckon they're up there. Quartermentha were there yesterday. The government's put $1.9 billion into it to keep sovereign steelmaking capacity in Australia.
But it's out-of-date material. It's out-of-date manufacturing. The entire plant needs to be revamped. It's so out-of-date it's not funny, and we're dropping the quality of steel as a result of it. It needs to be full-blown, full-fired Australian material for Australian projects first. Let's put jobs back on the line.
Hey, can I ask you a question, Larry? Who was the weirdo who thought up the name Trumpet of the Patriots?
Okay. One of the gentlemen who's part of the founding group, because Trumpet of Patriots was actually created here in South Australia, he is one of only 3 people in the world that can blow a shofar. A shofar is a giant ram's horn, and you've got to be able to blow it in a specific manner. So that was the trumpet.
That's a skill.
Well, that's good.
All right. Now, calling the Trumpet of the Patriots was very much about calling the Patriots together, calling them together like they used to do in Israel, call the Patriots together, call the Warriors together, call the people that want to make Australia great again together to be able to say, hey, enough. We're sick and tired of the two-party preferred. You hear these.
Have you seen this ram's horn in action? It sounds pretty good. It sounds a bit like a vuvuzela.
Oh, no, this thing's huge. These things go for up to 1 metre long.
Because it predates. What you're saying, Laurie, is right. The party actually predates any association with Donald Trump, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, this is way back before Donald Trump. It has not. Yes, coincidentally, Trump has won one election, lost another, won another one. But it's amazing. We have the same thing happening. What happened to Trump in America in the first election? He won't win. He will never get in. Blah blah blah. He won in a landslide in the first election. Then the second election, of course, we won't go into that one. The third election, he's won absolutely majority. But again, they keep degrading him. And here we are doing the same thing in Australia. We're not talking about Trump or Patriots. We're only talking about Labor or Liberal. We're only talking about two-party preferred. But there is a active person standing up saying, hey, I am going to be Prime Minister if Trump or the Patriots wins balance of power.
Yeah, okay.
Who is Prime Minister if you guys win?
Yeah.
Sue Ellen.
Sue Ellen?
Yeah.
Who's she?
She is currently running for the seat of Hunter in New South Wales.
Okay, coal country.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, there's our first Trumpet of the Patriots candidate we've ever spoken to. Good. Thank you for calling in, Laurie. So we call it the open line. 822 300
They got deep pockets.
They do. Uncle
Every
Clive takes
newspaper in
care
the
of all
land.
the bills.
Did you see that great thing where The Age ran an editorial denouncing Trumpet of the Patriots and saying that they would never endorse any of their advertising declaring that there are only 2 genders, which is clearly aping Trump. And the day they ran the editorial, on the bottom of page 1 was a 10x7 ad running an entire length of the front page saying there are only 2 genders on the front of the paper. They had the editorial in it.
Oh, that's awkward.
Yeah, oops-a-daisy.
All right, let's go to St Clair. Andrew, good morning.
Yeah, just on that previous caller, Sue Ellen's just got to get elected herself first.
Yes.
Yeah, just a minor issue.
That's that easy.
Yeah, just the one thing that the Prime Minister really needs to address, and all layers of government, so it's not just him, is if you want more housing built, you've got to be able to remove the red tape from the process. We are currently building our 3rd house in over 30 years, so this is the 3rd one we built, and it takes double the amount of time that it took to build, for example, a second home. And it is just absolutely soul-destroying. And a lot of it exists at a local government level, but a lot of it exists about rigidly sticking to state and national standards for construction and not having any real flexibility in them either. And they come up as surprises and changes during the planning process.
Yeah, you're right, Andrew. It's utterly ludicrous. We built houses faster 50 years ago, before computers, automation, robotics, all that kind of stuff.
So much of the compliance now, and a lot of it is environmental stuff. Water tanks, all that sort of stuff. It's just added so much to the cost. It's just crazy.
All right, let's check traffic. We're going to come back with Jade Robin in a moment. And if you've got a sound off for us, sound off for the Care Alert Smart Dialer, you can get calling right now, 8223 0000. You use your home care package through My Aged Care or NDIS for a Care Alert for free. Get calling if there's something to get off your chest. You've got the airwaves all to yourself.
A lot of interest in the Israeli ram horn.
Yeah, that was intriguing. It's an intriguing element, wasn't it?
Sound good on the hill, wouldn't it?
Be terrific. Let's check traffic. Every office is different. Every client is special. Corporate Clean Property Services. No cut corners, just clean ones.
Dry Creek, a car and truck smash on the Salisbury Highway to the Wingfield interchange. Really big delays inbound there at the moment. In the city, a blackout affecting the lights. King William Road to Victoria Drive, just where the bridge goes over the Torrens there. A look out for works at Plimpton. Sewer replacement works continuing. Marion Road near Pembroke Avenue. That is always really slow. Cameras, Hennis Avenue, Paraka and Langman Grove. drive at Felixstowe. Dave Hughes, Tommy Little, Emma Holland, Takashi Wakasugi and Lisa McCune go bonkers in the new season of Taskmaster, 8:30 tonight on 10. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
When it comes to real estate, Photobase Group does it all. Marketing, signage, print, photography, videography and design. And now they're adding to their award-winning team. Photobase Group are currently on the hunt for casual real estate sign installers available 3 to 5 days a week from 7 a.m. till 5 p.m. A vehicle is provided along with training and all the tools and equipment needed to ensure you enjoy the work and deliver perfect outcomes for their valued clients. Get in contact today by calling 8229 9000.
Ignition for Men. Adelaide's home of impeccable class and style offer a range of suits by leading Italian brands, including tailor-made suits using the finest Italian fabrics from Zegna, Canali, Zignoni, Holland and Sherry, along with many more. Special occasions or business, stand out in a tailor-made suit by Ignition for Men. Best fit, best brands. Call into 54 Paynham Road, Stepney, or visit ignitionformen.com.au.
Now, this is your last chance to win a brand new home mortgage-free. The Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery final deadline is midnight tomorrow.
You could win the $3.5 million grand prize in Somerton Park, including $500,000. Live the dream mortgage-free in a fully furnished Scott Salisbury home with 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, swimming pool and less than 500 metres from the beach.
Get your tickets at homelottery.com.au. Buy before midnight tomorrow. Life-changing prizes, life-changing impact. Lock in your tickets now so you don't miss out.
By purchasing a ticket in the Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery, you can be proud that you are funding life-changing medical research to find cures and improve care for all South Australians. Win the $3.5 million grand prize in Somerton Park. Buy your tickets now at homelottery.com.au.
At Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, choosing your new Volkswagen is easy. They're clearing all 2024 plated Volkswagens. How good is this? You get free on-roads, free stamp duty and 12 months worth of rego. All are ready for immediate delivery. And we have easy finance options and remember our next day servicing. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen's 2024 plate clearance. You'd better be quick. Salisbury Highway, just a short drive from the city.
The Hyundai Keys to Summer event ends soon. Unlock offers now. Visit Hyundai.com.au.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
Coming up to 8 minutes to 9. Make sure you're tuning into the sports show this Friday. This is going to be a hell of a lot of fun. The Showdown Fish-Off is taking place. Boat captained by Rowie. Another boat captained by Timmy G. So it's going to be a showdown. Bragging rights are on the line. So that's going to take place Friday from 4 p.m. Alpha Industries and Peppers Cleaning Products. Truck strength for your car, caravan, boat or home. peppersaustralia.com.au. Let's have a quick look at the fuel situation out there as well, with hundreds of ways to save every day. It's better to be a member with RAA Rewards. There's good cheap spots like the Mobile at Hillcrest, Northeast Roads at $1.55.5. Imagine what that's going to be post-excise.
Crikey.
OTR Underdale, Henley Beach Road, $1.59.9. Obviously, Dutton would have to win.
$1.55.
Yugo, Salisbury Downs, Salisbury Highway, $1.59.5. And the Ampole, Seaford Meadows, Seaford Road, $1.69.5. The cheapest diesel, the Silvers Auto Centre, Gilbert Street, $1.74.9. The Liberty McCracken, Hindmarsh Road, $1.69.9. It's a pretty good price for diesel as well. Jade Robin's been covering throughout the morning a fire at Black Forest. We're hoping just to get one final report from her in before the end of the program this morning. In fact, we've got her right now. Jade, good morning again.
Good morning, guys. Police are still on the scene here at 20 Cowper Street in Black Forest, where that house fire, Will, that you just touched on, broke out just after 4 a.m. this morning. Now, it's believed the fire broke out in the laundry. It's an old lean-to of this really beautiful old centuries-old home. 24 fireys were really quick to the scene, and that really is what has saved the rest of the house from burning down. There is a lot of smoke damage. Fireys are on the scene. They're going to investigate. Police, as I mentioned, are still on the scene investigating exactly what has happened, but they battled clutter conditions, which I found out from speaking to the owner a little bit earlier. It's all her children's belongings. She's got 2 daughters, and it's all their school stuff, all their toys, all those things that as you grow up you go, oh, Mum, I don't need those, but good old Mum, she keeps them, puts them in boxes, and that's where they were kept, in the laundry, and sadly they have gone up in flames. Incredibly though, the owner, Pam, she wasn't badly injured. injured. She's 85 years of age and has mobility issues and really just can't walk without assistance. But her daughter, who lives in the home, she sounded the alarm and yelled for her mum, Pam, to get out of the house. There has been a fire. Somehow this incredible woman has found the strength. She said that it was either God or adrenaline that kicked in, but she got herself out of bed and got out of the house as fast as she could. So thankfully Pam escaped and she isn't injured, but her daughter is, and we don't know the extent of what injuries she does have. She was taken to hospital. She's in the emergency department but left her mobile phone behind, so her family haven't been able to get in contact with her. Pam's other daughter, Sarah, she is here on the scene with her husband, and of course all the focus is on their 85-year-old mum. But it's been amazing here this morning. The surrounding neighbours, we've got David, Sarah, Chris, they've all come out to help Pamela. Pamela was one of the neighbours as well. She was first on the scene, who I spoke to earlier. Here is Pamela, the neighbour, and you'll also hear from Pam, the 85-year-old who owns the home and had one very lucky escape, guys. Pam, your beautiful house, what happened this morning?
Oh, well, we had sort of a few hours ago. Now it was very dark and just had a fire in the my laundry, and my daughter come running out saying, Mum, we've got to get out of the house. So I'm not in a very good health situation at the moment with walking. For some reason, I walked out. That walker.
It was 4 o'clock in the morning. The wind actually woke me, and I went and shut the window, my bedroom window, because the blind was rattling. And then I thought I heard noises next door, but you don't really worry. And then my neighbour, my beautiful 25-year-old neighbour, Tim, came running down. Pamela, you must get up. And I was shutting all my windows in my home. So,
and yes. Do you know the neighbours that live in here?
Yes, dear Pammy. Pammy is, I won't mention surnames, she's 85, and her daughter Laura would be 50-odd.
Remarkable reporting right throughout the morning from Jade Robran at the scene there at Black Forest, speaking to the neighbour, then the occupant, poor old Pammy, the 85-year-old inside, who, as she said, and this would be, in the immediate aftermath, your first thought is, well, I'm okay, thank God for that. And then as your mind starts going, I wonder where that thing is that I need.
Yeah, totally.
You go, oh, no, it's not there anymore. It's gone.
And that would go on for months and months.
Yeah.
You're thinking, oh, where'd I leave that? Oh, hang on, no.
We have been in touch with the family, so we're going to try and get a sense if there's something they need. We'll appeal to the wonderful generosity of people here in South Australia to try and help them out.
We know there's so many great charities that will help, and, even if it's just a question of putting them in touch with the right one.
That's all from us. Stick around for Graham Goodings. We'll be back tomorrow morning from 6 o'clock.